All righty, we're live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Monday.
Is your voice even happening?
I don't know.
I was looking.
Nobody said anything yet.
You said anything?
I'm just going to move my mouth, and if people listen,
You're on.
You're
on. Okay.
Well, yeah,
Hi.
It's on.
Hi.
I will tell you if you're not on when it's going.
Take it away, Brad.
What am I taking away? The pre-show?
Yeah.
Okay, YouTube poll today. Will the Twitter files exposed under Elon Musk have a positive impact on free speech? You've got two options on this. First option is yes. And the second option is no, nothing is going to happen. So we want you to vote in the poll, which you can find on YouTube. And most of you are probably watching on YouTube, but those of you over on Twitch and Twitter and our other sites, jump over to YouTube. The poll's there in the comments section. YouTube.com @AnnieFry Show, or just @AnnieFry. No, it's not doing the @ thing anymore.
YouTube.com// @AnnieFry. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if that's what you said. It's complicated.
Similar to that.
No, it does make a difference.
It does.
But nowhere, anywhere else on the internet do you do a /@.
Slash.
But on YouTube you do.
Because they got to be different.
Or youtube.com/C/AnnieFry.
Yeah. So anyway, that's where you'll find the poll. The poll in the chat of the live stream that you're watching now over on YouTube. So go ahead and vote in there. And then whenever you vote, leave a comment. Hannah will start that comment. Tell us why you voted the way you voted. And then that way we can read those comments on air and comment on your comments and say, oh, wow, we didn't even think about that. Or, yeah, we did. And that's a great idea. So that's that. And then at 1:25, we're going to have Matt Rosenberg on. Do you guys remember the Safety Act? Turns out it wasn't the big, nothing burger that Democrats were saying it was. And now the Democrats are going back to make some edits. So Matt Rosenberg of Wirepoints is going to join us at 1:25 to discuss that and to tell us kind of what changes they're making and whatnot.
Are you ready
So,
for your standing?
Set your clock for that. Ryan, what do you got?
I've got a comment here from Al Johnson. He says, "Do you hear what I hear?"
Right.
And what
I immediately regret my
what
decision.
you want to hear is that Wiggins America is going to give an update on this situation in North Carolina where thousands and thousands, multiple tens of thousands of people are without power, have been without power.
Thousands and thousands, multiples of tens of thousands.
I was racking it up as
Mathematically speaking.
I got that.
That's a lot.
There's a lot of people.
I'm just gonna say, if Joe Biden said that, we'd make fun of him for it.
For sure.
And it'd be
Joe
on
Biden's
X's
got-
and O's,
Joe Biden's got a teleprompter.
and you'd be
I do
making
not.
a really deep voice British guy say it.
I don't have a teleprompter.
Or some horrible, computerized Jamaican accent.
I can do that too. So we're going to update on that and just sort of what would you do? Because I think that's a situation where if you've heard about that story, because it happened over the weekend, you put yourself into it for sure. I've been doing that all weekend. What would we do? Every time we start a fire in the fireplace, would we do this?
Do you have a fireplace?
I do.
I'm so jealous.
I do. That was a Christmas gift for Candy a couple of years
Do you have a
ago.
fireplace?
Mm-hmm.
With real fire, like wood, not gas?
Gas fireplaces have real fire,
Right.
and I have a gas one that goes on with the
Real
switch.
wood.
That's
Real one.
that's innovative.
I'm jealous of all of you.
We've got wood, but we don't have the gas.
What?
We don't have gas.
What was the first part?
I've got wood, but I don't have gas.
I'm going to step over here for a minute.
That's a nice combination.
Yeah, you don't want to mix those two. I'm saying that in front of a church background.
I'm saying that out loud. on the
I've
internet,
never
right?
wanted the show intro to play.
Oh,
I'll
man,
tell you
I'm
right
sure when I go
now.
out there to mention that. Holy cow.
Wow.
I didn't have to before, but I had to pee.
See, that's why you tuned in early.
You can put that on a t-shirt.
Yeah, wood.
Ryan
Yeah.
is blushing.
I wasn't trying.
Oh, man.
I'm trying. I'm Ryan. See ya.
I'm crying.
Oh, my makeup.
I'm
All right. Is that it for the pre-show?
Yeah,
That's
we're
more than enough. Yes, thank you.
Holy cow.
At the Odyssey Holiday Heroes Blood Drive Tuesday the 20th through Friday the 23rd at YMCA locations all over the region. Make an appointment at redcross.org.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love
Right? You need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Hi, Griff. Yeah, what you really see from the documents shared is how messy the internal debate at Twitter was over how to handle the Hunter Biden laptop story. Elon Musk, as you mentioned, revealed this last night by sharing the company's communications with writer Matt Taibbi, who turned that information into a lengthy tweet thread, beginning with how political influence took hold at the company. Taibbi wrote that in October of 2020. By that time, requests from political parties to remove or review tweets had become routine. One executive here wrote to another, "More to review from the Biden team. Handled," was the response back. Taibbi said that requests from Democrats proved more powerful due to the leanings of Twitter's staff. The thread also notes extraordinary steps taken to remove the New York Post's reporting on Hunter Biden's laptop by marking it unsafe and utilizing a tool reserved for extreme cases like child pornography.
Fox News Channel's Alexandria Hoff reporting there on Matt Taibbi, the guy who had the attention of, I don't even know how many people, man. It was quite a Friday evening. Welcome to the Annie Frey Show. I usually try 3 o'clock on Friday for me, especially with the way the Annie Frey Show ends up kind of, it's really a devolution. Is that a word? The devolving of devolution. I don't know. Throughout the course of the Friday show, we like to have a lot of fun. We don't normally start the Monday shows off quite like that, but if you were on the YouTube pre-show, you might have seen some things and heard some things. I try to turn it off at 3 p.m. and give myself over to my kids, my family, and leave the news behind. And ended up going to my nephew's basketball game Friday night to watch him play. And all of a sudden, the Twitter files start dropping. We had a basketball practice for our girls' team right after, and we were the stuff was supposed to start dropping at 4 p.m. And then it got delayed, and then here I am sitting, refreshing on Twitter over and over and over again, trying to get to the substance of what you may now have heard of as the hashtag Twitter files. Elon Musk decides to say, here, let's have some transparency. Let's actually expose to the entire world who was doing what, with whom, and where and when it came to specifically the Hunter Biden laptop New York Post story that was censored right before the election in 2020. Tweet after tweet after tweet, often with literal minutes passing in between one to the next. I was sitting, as I said, in a gym at a junior high basketball game, so I had some time and some scrolling and could go through it. But it was Friday night. A lot of people maybe didn't. But if you watched as these tweets were released systematically in a way that captured people's attention, you got to ask yourself, what kind of impact does this have? Some people are saying, this is the biggest scandal that's ever happened in the United States. This is bigger than Watergate. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. There's still plenty more where that came from. And Elon Musk is doing what a business owner might do with his shiny new toy of Twitter, and he's keeping you right on the hook. I'm curious if you have paid attention to the Twitter files. I'm curious if you've been watching it, if you've been paying attention to the coverage. Again, happening on a Friday evening makes it a little more difficult for people to consume and set the time aside for and to get people's reaction to it. And as I was reading through, I thought, oh my gosh, this is real stuff. This is real evidentiary information presented in many times through screenshots of communications that took place between Twitter executives at the highest level, including Jack Dorsey, and including people in the United States government, in campaigns for candidates who were running for election. There was absolute communication back and forth. Also revealed amongst the people who were making these requests, they said that it happened from both Democrats and Republicans. But considering the personnel, that the Twitter files exposed that, generally speaking, the way this worked was it just was based on who you have contacts with. Who do you know at Twitter that can help us with this? Democrats would do it. Republicans would do it. Are we okay with that type of communication going back and forth? Are we okay with Twitter having sources in the government who can make special requests to limit private citizens' free speech? One of the most interesting specific examples that came out of this was actor James Woods.
And there's something that they should fear more than anything they have ever imagined in their wildest dreams. The most dangerous man to these corrupt, vile vermin is an American who's not afraid of them. And Joe Biden and all those rats who worked with you at the DNC, to close down my speech, I am not afraid of you.
So James Woods is a really interesting wrinkle in this story because James Woods is there's evidence specifically of James Woods and them looking to suppress his ability to speak on Twitter. What did he say that caused him to be removed from Twitter? Was he the threat? Was he held to the same standards as a threat that every other person who's on Twitter was held to? Or did he tick off the wrong people, and through the requests from connections between government officials and Twitter officials, were they able to do, as we heard Alexandria Hoff from Fox News report, to have it handled? I think that we have a lot of information that raises my eyebrows. I think a lot of more information needs to be uncovered and revealed. I hope that we have the opportunity to look at a lot of these documents for ourselves, to search them. I've been as intrigued by what people are discovering based on the information that Taibbi revealed on Friday night. The sleuths that are out there, the independent journalists, it's hard to... It's the hardest thing for me is the amount of information that was released on Friday night, which I wish that there would have been more. And I suspect there to be more. And Elon Musk, as I said, as a business owner, is going to keep the attention and the focus on Twitter as long as he can. I think he has an interest in free speech. I know he has a financial interest in people being on Twitter. So, and I'm not saying that's good or bad. That just is business. That just is what it is. But it shouldn't be overlooked. When you consider the information that was released on Friday in these Twitter files and the amount of uncovering and digging that people have been able to participate since then to piece things together, this is what should have happened in October of 2020. If the Hunter Biden story and his laptop, if the laptop was in fact what the people on the left who absolutely needed it to not be a factor in the election, if it was what they said it was, that would have been exposed.
50 former national intelligence folks who said that what he's accusing me of is a Russian plan. They have said that this has all the 5 former heads of the CIA, both parties, say what he's saying is a bunch of garbage.
This is classic Trump. We have 4 days left, and all of a sudden there's a laptop. There's overwhelming evidence that from the intelligence community that the Russians are engaged.
I still think that the stories from the fall about your son Hunter were Russian disinformation and a smear campaign, like you said.
Yes. I know you'd ask it. I have no response. It's another smear campaign. It's the last-ditch effort in this desperate campaign to smear me and my family. The vast majority of the intelligence people have come out and said there's no basis at all.
When you consider the information that Joe Biden himself and the people surrounding this issue were providing, they weren't saying, let's get to the bottom of this. This seems like an ill-timed campaign maneuver. They stopped the conversation from happening. They disallowed people in the United States of America to have a conversation. They disallowed a reputable newspaper which if you are averse to the New York Post, there's no world where the New York Post and the New York Times should not get to exist playing by the same rules. And if you don't like the New York Times because you feel like they're woke leftist activists who have the ability to publish words on a paper and on the internet that you feel are slanted to a leftist's perspective and not actual journalistic reporting, then you need to also understand that the New York Post has a conservative angle to it, especially comparative to the status quo. You can acknowledge that. Just like, to me, it's the same thing as saying Fox News and CNN and MSNBC, the news is the news. The stories that happen that are of interest to the American people are the stories that happen that are of interest to the American people. But Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, Newsmax, OANN, the stinking Young Turks are on my YouTube television subscription. I mean, all of these people have access to the same news and information. They get to do two things. They get to choose how they report it, and they get to choose if they get to report it. The New York Post, the New York Times are going to be the same way. There's no shame in acknowledging what you can see with your own eyes when you read either of those publications. For Twitter to disallow that conversation to happen, and as we see through the Twitter files, they say in the background, we have a congressperson who reaches out to them, a Democrat congressperson who says, hey, what's the story here? This is causing a lot of conversation among Republicans and Democrats alike. This is looking a lot like a free speech issue. Can you please discuss this with me? I would like some answers. Good for that congressman. Good for them for speaking up. But the conversations taking place at Twitter in the background in October of 2020, when we are all going, wait, what? Why? If I tweet the New York Post story as my Twitter account, like a New York Post story, if I retweet it, am I going to get shut down? Am I going to be shadow banned? Are we no longer allowed to share information? It's not like it was from, I don't know, I always make fun of it. It's like American Eagle Patriot 2A for you stuff. And I'm not reading that article. Those websites always post all of their headlines that start like this in all caps, bombshell. I'm like, it's not a bombshell. I promise you, just by virtue of you saying it's a bombshell, it is not a bombshell. If it's a bombshell, you're going to write a reputable article. It's going to get out there. It's going to get traction, and people are going to start sharing your story, and they're going to say, this is a bombshell. You don't have to write bombshell in your headline in order for people to know it's a bombshell. I digress. They shut down the conversation. We didn't have the conversation. In a conversation, a debate, or an argument, what happens is the New York Post says, here's what we know. This is what we've researched. And if the New York Post is going to publish something like that and be completely incorrect in it, they will have a reputation to uphold, they will have a reputation to answer for, and they will tarnish their reputation if they are to be reporting things that haven't been vetted or don't have enough smoke to report that there is a fire, we have to find it. That's on the New York Post. That's what these reputable papers, and I would include the New York Times in that, or the Washington Post. I mean, they're still considered well-read papers in our country. They all have slants. You agree with some, you disagree with others. That doesn't mean that a broken clock can't be right twice a day. That doesn't mean the New York Post can't post something that's great, that the New York Times can't post something that's great. It just means that you have to be incredibly on your game no matter what you intake from anywhere. And this Twitter files expose is ground zero for how information has been managed and how you have been managed. That's what's at the epicenter of this. And that's the scary part. The idea that information, like I said before, all of these news outlets, paper, radio, television, all of these outlets all have access to the same stories. They all have to determine, how do we make the story ours? What kind of extra work can we do to have more here so that instead of going to the other network first, we get people who see that a headline has popped up and they go, I got to know more about this. So they come to us. How do we report on this and expose truth? That's not what journalism in the United States of America is today. That's not what information is in the United States today. I had never heard of the word misinformation and disinformation as a civilian who is an expert social media consumer, at a growing amateur social media user. I had never heard of that word and that term until we moved into the 2020 election. It is so incredibly ironic to me the way that the Russia collusion story was drummed up before the 2016 election. The way it was spilled out into the world through a dossier written by Steele with uncorroborated evidence that the FBI said there's nothing in this dossier that we can hang our hat on. There's nothing here, but yet it was shopped to BuzzFeed. And as long as you have one person, it was shopped to a lot of places. BuzzFeed was the one who, I think, wasn't it BuzzFeed who was the one who finally said, we'll publish it? Regardless, they got one place to publish it, and then everybody else could then wash their hands. The Pontius Pilate scenario of saying sources report. Then they could talk about the story, because the useful part about all of this was to disparage Donald Trump in the 2016 campaign to be the president. That took us into years of an impeachment where he was impeached for it. That took us through his entire presidency where he was constantly living, and people still today will say that he's a colluder with Russia. It's nonsense. You could disagree with Donald Trump on a lot of things. We'll talk about that in a little bit here as well. You can look at what this president has done and disagree with as many things as you choose to. Agree with as many things as you choose to. But the idea that he was somehow an agent for Russia is ridiculous. But that information was not squelched. In fact, it got primetime coverage. Shift forward to 2020, and a laptop story that was a laptop that was surrendered by Hunter Biden. He just, I mean, like the atrocity that this situation has to be for the Biden family, for the Biden campaign, for the Biden presidency. The fact that Hunter Biden literally left this laptop at a Mac store. He just left it there. That's how irresponsible it is. And it has all of this information on it. It was never a discussion in that in the campaign season leading up to the 2020 election. We weren't even discussing the contents of the laptop. We were all told by the talking heads, by the intelligence community, by the person who wanted to be the president of the United States himself, that this is a Russian disinformation ploy. Don't fall for it. They told us that over and over and over again, and then they needed big tech to say, get rid of the story, and big tech did. Which means they never even had to defend against the accusations that would have been made and the questions that would have been raised had the laptop been vetted first and foremost as an actual source of information from Hunter Biden. All of the questions that we still have, we have even more questions today than we had before. All of those questions that we have today should have been vetted in the way that it would have taken hardly any time at all, not to mention the fact that the FBI had a copy of this laptop. How is it that we can, in 2022, look at the story? People are asking about, how far does the Hunter Biden story go? How does it include Joe Biden, which is where it becomes the business of the American people? Hunter Biden's addictions and his personal problems are not the business of the American people, unless they become the business of the American people through the president of the United States, the vice president of the United States, a man who's seeking the highest office in the land. Then it becomes the business of the American voter and taxpayer. The number one thing that you need to understand from what we learned from Friday is that what you are allowed to hear is the only thing that matters. And that in the past, there are people on both sides of the aisle who have been able to reach out to big tech and affect who can say what and where and when. And we know now that what they pull down and what they censor can be specifically beneficial to the people in power and not based in truth at all. That's scary. The YouTube live chat poll for today. Go to the Annie Frey YouTube channel. Go to youtube.com/@AnnieFrey, Frey. Will the Twitter files exposed under Elon Musk have a positive impact on free speech? Yes or nope, nothing will happen. Would love to know what you think about this. And Hannah's watching your comments as they funnel in. So tell us what you think about it, and we will highlight your thoughts at 2:45 when we recap today's YouTube live chat Twitter poll, or poll about Twitter, I should say. Stick around at 12:45, Wiggins America. At 1:25, Matt Rosenberg joins us because guess what? They made updates to the Safety Act because you know what? It was a busted bill to begin with. Could they fix it? Not so much. 1:25, we'll get the updates from Matt Rosenberg. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Since I couldn't say that I wasn't addicted, and it's been
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Follow Annie on Twitter @Annie Frey Show.
Just like I always do, and it's been a while, but all that seems to disappear.
Hi, this is Brian with Velocity Home Buyers, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 314-782-3333. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition and any price range in the St. Louis area. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that needs updating, but you don't have the time or money for it? Great, because I love buying outdated houses. I buy vacant houses, job relocation houses, and foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 314-782-3333. That's 314-782-3333.
So dental care is maybe something that you've put off. And I get that. Nobody likes going to the dentist. Until you do, until you really reshape that thought in your mind about what going to the dentist actually means. I want you to think about that ache that you have in your mouth right now, or that spot in the back of your mouth where if you eat a certain kind of food, it triggers that and you know not to eat on that side of your mouth. You've adjusted actually your entire life around avoiding the dentist. Don't do that. You don't have to do that. Fully Dental Group. That's who you need to know. FullyDentalGroup.com is the website. They're taking new appointments, new patients right now, and they have a brand new building that's designed all around your comfort, your ease, getting rid of your anxiety, and handling your dental concerns. And they do this with a whole health approach. There are many people who have become patients at Fully Dental Group who have addressed other health concerns that they have through their dental care. If you don't believe me, make your appointment today and understand why the Frey family chooses to go to Fully Dental Group. Online at FullyDentalGroup.com.
I'm Howard Mackler of GetRefunds.com. You may have heard me talk about the payroll tax refund program that gives businesses up to $26,000 for every employee they kept on payroll during COVID. But today, I'm not going to do the talking. I'm letting a real Get Refunds client tell you everything.
I'm Evan, owner of Laveau DWI Law. I heard about the payroll tax refund and GetRefunds.com on the radio. When COVID hit my business, everything shut down. Revenue, phone calls, all business. The new cost of operating during COVID hit hard too. I had to personally fund my business. GetRefunds.com got me approved for a payroll tax refund, and with that money, allowed me to recoup losses and costs, even where I had positive income in the later quarters of COVID recovery. If you have a business, you should go to GetRefunds.com and start your claim right now.
GetRefunds.com helped their business, and we can help yours too. Go to GetRefunds.com and see if you qualify in just 8 minutes. GetRefunds.com, powered by Innovation Refunds.
If you're a fan of 97.1, get a t-shirt. Visit 971talk.com/merch to see all the new t-shirt designs and show your support for St. Louis's home for conservative talk. 97.1 FM Talk.
Can't write one song that's not about you. Can't drink without thinking.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show.
Is it too late to tell you that everything means nothing if I can't have you?
Yeah, I expect they'll launch investigation into Hunter Biden and this angle of it, but also Twitter in general. There is a long-running theme through Republican politics right now that big tech has censored conservatives. The term shadow banning, all these things that people talk about how free speech from just conservatives has been muzzled. And I think they're going to use this, whether or not it actually shows anything of that. I think what it does show is that Twitter had a close relationship with Democrats, much closer relationship than with Republicans. And that is enough. That is enough to have Republicans say, aha, this is exactly what we have been talking about. We have been cast aside. People are censoring our speech.
So that was an MSNBC analyst in Buck, and he's talking about how the Twitter files, which you may or may not be familiar with. If you're not, on Friday, Matt Taibbi is a reporter. He used to write for Rolling Stone, of all places. He's not a conservative stalwart in journalism. Exposed some personal communication, business communications that existed within Twitter when it came to censoring the New York Post article that talked about the Hunter Biden laptop scandal. And there was a lot exposed on Friday. I don't think that what we found out from Friday is I have a feeling we've just begun to scratch the surface on what is going to be exposed. I'm privately amused by how many conservatives on Twitter were really, really interested to find out if their names were part of any of these Twitter files. It would be a badge of honor for people on Twitter right now to have been a part of the censorship that was exposed on Friday. Now, here's the question. Is what took place on Friday with what was exposed on Friday, does that show that there was illegal activity? I am not a legal expert. We have several people who are going to come on and discuss those issues with us this week, and I'm looking forward to having those conversations with them. I am not going to pretend to be a Monday morning armchair legal expert because I absolutely am not. And I don't see anybody reacting in a way that says that the smoking gun has arrived on a silver platter for Republicans and for conservatives and for Donald Trump. That's not what we're seeing here. But just because we really have to exit this all or nothing thinking that unless somebody is going to be in jail because they're on the left side of the aisle, that this is a loss. Everything is so sensationalized. Everything is so dramatic. Everybody wants heads to roll. And I understand the frustration, but we have to really keep our eyes focused on what has been exposed and just stay right there. What we know now, because Elon Musk has made this public, versus what we didn't know Thursday, the day before he made this public, is an enormous amount of communication that exists between government and big tech. Both parties do it. The Democrats have way more inroads in doing this and have way more success in making their requests, but both parties do it. And the other thing that we know is that the internal communications surrounding the censorship of the New York Post article on Hunter Biden's laptop, that the internal communications at Twitter were such that they did not have a good, valid, solid reason, that they were kind of making it up as they go. They based it on a hacked information policy that they had in place, but they were internally discussing, I don't think that policy really is good foundation for what we're doing here. And we're going to need more if we're going to pursue this in the future. And it's going to be rough waters ahead if we continue on this path. And it was rough waters ahead. But at that time, that's the point here. That's the point that everybody on the right is saying, listen, it was about getting past the finish line, which was Election Day in 2020. That's what's got people pulling their hair out right now. And if you're pulling your hair out because you're sitting here thinking, who's going to get fired for this? What kind of lawsuits are going to be filed for this? I'll remind you, Eric Schmidt he is in the middle of a lawsuit where he's been able to take depositions from very high-profile people, asking and inquiring about the collusion that exists between the United States government and big tech. That's being worked on. That's being done. And that was being done before the Twitter files were released by Elon Musk / Matt Taibbi on Friday afternoon. For many of you, I'm sure that you're feeling and your thought is, who's going to jail? Who's in trouble for this? Who's going to be held accountable for it? Because you are sick and tired of bombshell stories hitting your social media feeds and conservative talk radio show hosts coming on and be like, we've got it. We've got the smoking gun right here. We've finally got the information. We knew it all along. And they're outraged. And then you sit there and you go, this is outrageous. I know, but I am exhausted. I can't run this race anymore. Nothing is going to happen. Are you tired? Are you sick? Are you sick and tired? We all are. And our exhaustion in this matter causes us to become, I don't want to use the word lazy, but it causes us to lose our focus and our diligence and our energy to pursue what it is that we've been pursuing this whole time, which is truth and freedom. That's what this is all about. And one comes with the other. The truth about what's happening at Twitter, what has happened at Twitter, is the only thing that's going to really get this country back on track and flex that First Amendment muscle that has greatly atrophied. Probably over the last 15 years, maybe longer. We have to get to the point where we focus on the actual goal, which is not just orange jumpsuits on our least favorite politician. It has to be about what is true. Who's willing to say it? Who is unafraid of what is factual? We're actually seeing that right now in a way that I have not seen in my professional career, unless I'm forgetting something. Somebody correct me. You usually do. That I have not seen this level of transparency exist in information in the time that I've been doing this professionally, which at this point is 6 years into my career. Transparency and the release of information, you know what that does? That puts you in the important seat. Here's what was said. Here's how it was said. Here's who communicated. Here's what they determined. Turning that information over to you and just giving it to you makes you the person who gets to decide what happens next. And that is the thing that big tech and the people who have tried to manipulate it, which we have found out, I will repeat this over and over and over again, has been requested by both sides that information be handled on behalf of both parties. The idea that you need to be managed is what has taken away our freedom. And this is going to have to be a baby steps. You're going to have to be willing to stick by it. You're going to feel tired. Like I said, you're going to feel sick about it. You're going to look at your country and you're going to look at your kids and then you're going to look at your grandkids and you're going to say, I don't know what happens in this country next if we don't fix this, and I don't think it can get fixed. And then I want you to look at your kids and I want you to look at your grandkids one more time and say, got to stick with it. Don't have a choice. Have to pursue truth so that they can continue to have freedom for generations to come. You don't have a choice. Every time there's some sort of big release of information from Elon Musk, if it doesn't result in minutes passing and people going to jail, we have to be willing to weather that storm because the other side is going to be freaking out. The other side's going to be in a panic. How many people have been covering this story in the mainstream media since Friday afternoon, Friday evening? Not many. Why? I don't think that they want to answer for it. I think there's a lot of people going, how much more is going to be released here? How much more is going to be uncovered? Is my name going to be in this? That's what people are thinking right now. Managing expectations is important. Managing you is the most center point of this whole battle. Elon Musk is not your hero. Elon Musk is not your savior. Elon Musk owns Twitter. I can't remember who tweeted this, and I wish I knew, and if I saw it or somebody knows, tell me, because I want to give him credit. Elon Musk didn't purchase Twitter. He purchased a crime scene. I'd like to see if that comes to be the truth. When it does get exposed, if it does get exposed, we are going to react to that right here on this show with experts who can tell you the constitutionality of what was done, the unconstitutionality of what transpired, the likelihood that this will manifest into some actionable charges. Maybe people will go to jail. Maybe they won't. But if people don't go to jail, that doesn't let you off the hook. And it does not let me off the hook to continue to pursue truth in a way that allows you to exhale and look at your family at night and know that you fought that day for what was important. And what was important is right there in your life, in your home, in your photos, in your frames, the people who you will celebrate the holidays with. That is what is most important. What is most important is not putting a point on the scoreboard for the red team or the blue team when you go home at night. That is the only way that I can get through day to day being saturated in this information while I was riveted and connected to my phone for the entire release of the Twitter files. It took my Friday evening away from my family. It was worth it. I was glad I did it. If I had to go back and do it again, I would do it again. But that's because this is what matters for the future of this country. And it's so easy to be so jaded because of the way things were. But I got to tell you this. If you were told in 2020 that in 2022 Elon Musk would start exposing this stuff, you would be heartened by that. It's just difficult when you're in the midst of the battle to understand I got to stay focused on my goal. Otherwise, you get lost and you get angry and you get dejected and it's frustrating and it's disappointing. You don't have to be that way. You don't. It's a choice that we all make. And I'm hoping that you choose to keep fighting, to stick in the battle, because I think the Twitter files are a huge deal. And like I said before, I think we've just started to scratch the surface. The Annie Frey YouTube live chat poll, will the Twitter files exposed under Elon Musk have a positive impact on free speech? You tell me what you think. 2 options, yes or nope, nothing will happen. You can go to the Annie Frey YouTube channel and vote. We'll get the recap vote of the votes and your comments at 2:45 with Hannah. When we come back, Wiggins America on a power outage that's affecting a certain part of our country and how we'd all handle that situation. Get the whole crew in here when we return, and you don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Wiggins America.
I'm good at keeping my distance, I know.
Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
I hate to admit it, but everything means nothing if I can't have you.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
So ENTs, ear, nose, and throat doctors, are a part of your life that maybe you haven't realized exist and can help you with issues that you're just suffering with. You don't have to suffer with that ear, nose, or throat problem that you've had for maybe here recently in the last couple months, or maybe you've been dealing with something for years and just thought it's a chronic problem you're just going to have to go through. Go to Gateway ENT. Gateway ENT online at gatewaydrs.com. They're going to walk you through how they can help you. They're going to assess by listening to you, because the best thing about Gateway ENT is how you are the center of that relationship. They don't serve any big network corporations. They don't have to refer one place or the other. They talk to you, they listen to you, and then they recommend what's best for you. It is the constant flow of reviews that people leaving Gateway ENT have is, I should have gone to them sooner. I wish I would have gone to them first. And I think you should give them a call today if you have an ear, nose, and throat concern in your life. 314-843-3828. That's 314-843-3828. GatewayDRS.com.
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing, together millions of things for our planet. Avoid giving useless knickknacks this holiday season and look for durable items that will last for years. When we each share our one thing, it becomes a million things for our planet. What's your one thing?
97.1 FM Talk is embracing the spirit of giving to support SSM Health Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital. Please join us and donate to the Tree of Hope. Funds raised help the hospital offer programs not covered by insurance, but so necessary to a child's recovery. Most importantly, all children at Cardinal Glennon receive the best care regardless of their family's ability to pay. Thank you for supporting Cardinal Glennon. Please make your donations to the Tree of Hope today at 971talk.com/Cardinal Glennon or text the word HOPE to 20357.
You had a solid retirement dream. Sell your home in a few years, bank the equity, downsize, and travel. But inflation and recession has you wondering if all your hard-earned equity will still be there. What if you could recession-proof your equity right now? You can with Truehold. Truehold will buy your home for its best current value before a recession can erode it. You get to bank all the cash now and live in your home for as long as you want, and Truehold covers all property taxes, insurance, repairs, and maintenance. And since Truehold pays your home's current value in cash now, it's yours to do whatever you like. Don't wait for inflation, recession, and interest rates to erode your home's value. Visit Truehold.com and discover how much Truehold will buy your home for today based on its best current value, not what's coming. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without having to move. That's Truehold.com.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service now offers insulation services. Did you know 9 out of 10 homes are under-insulated? Increase your energy savings and comfort with better insulation. For details, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Filtering the BS pushed by the mainstream media.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
97.1 FM Talk. You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to The Annie Frey Show. We're happy that you're here with us today. It's Monday, and that's a good thing because you showed up today and you have started your day. We're glad that you're spending a little bit of that afternoon with us. We're even glad that Wiggins is here.
Wiggins! Oh, Wiggins!
Just in a very happy Monday mood, Brian Wiggins.
You must be if you said you're glad Wiggins is here.
It was that pre-show.
You
made me laugh harder than I've laughed in a long time right before the show started.
You know what? We may have to get back into that because that was the topic of this Wiggins America. Ultimately, we'll get there.
No,
that's not what you sent me.
No, well, hang on there. Hang on, because
Hope
we'll
he
get
didn't
there.
send you that.
If you want to know, I mean, it's right there in the beginning.
You can rewind.
If you know, you know.
Oh, I wish I did know.
Hey, Brad, check this out.
Oh. Annie Frey YouTube channel.
Guys, nothing. Don't you make that plural. That's him.
Most people don't know what we're referring to.
There are literally 12 people who do.
Yeah, they were
continue
just at the very beginning of the pre-show. So another story that happened this weekend, big weekend. This one out of North Carolina. Maybe you consumed it just through little news blurbs, but if you've heard about it, it's officials on Sunday were cautioning residents of Moore County, North Carolina, to prepare for days up to maybe a week without electricity after a targeted attack on substations left 45,000 customers in the dark.
Wow.
The Moore County Sheriff, Ronnie Fields, said a suspect or suspects, it was one car, drove up to these energy power substations, 2 of them Saturday night, They breached a gate in one case, and they opened fire, disabled these substations, and has resulted in a blackout for tens of thousands that could last all the way through the end of this week. As of this morning, they've restored some power to about 10,000 people, but still about 36,000 customers remained without power, according to Power Outage US. My question for you guys is when, I'm assuming you heard at least a little bit about this story.
No, I hadn't.
I haven't heard about it.
Well, when
It's
you
a
do
big
now,
story.
when you do now,
So how many people were out of power for how long?
so 45,000 people initially were affected. They've gotten that down to 36,000 now. But they're still saying that
For how long?
it's through maybe the end of this week. So we're
But
talking
starting-
about starting Saturday night through
So like a week.
roughly a week at worst.
We
That's
did
what they're
that here
hoping
in
for.
St. Louis, and I think it was 2006, that ice storm.
Yeah, and I tried to think back because this Moore County in North Carolina, they're actually pretty similar to us in climate, and so they're about where we're at right now. This is a bad time of year for this stuff to be happening. Like you said, we've had it with storms and things.
I've had it with a lot of things.
But thinking back, I mean, I don't want to talk about the attack portion of this yet. I just want to ask, when this happens, do you guys have a plan? Do you immediately say, okay, I know what to do, or does this stuff catch you by surprise? Because it always catches me. I have no plan for these kind of things, and I know that I should. No, this is why we're laughing.
This is not why we're laughing.
No, go ahead.
I'm laughing at you.
Yeah?
Because you're like, every time this happens, it always catches me by surprise, which is on par.
Of course it is.
For Ryan Wiggins.
Of course.
But I already know how this goes.
Go ahead.
Brad's completely prepared.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I am married to somebody who's completely prepared, and I do have a plan and do have supplies. And Hannah's probably not really thought about it yet, but would hope that the people in her life that she is with do have a plan. Is that right?
Yeah, correct.
Brad?
Sure.
Now let's go around the room and answer the question, do you have a fireplace? Brad?
We've already done this. Brad is very envious of it.
Yes.
You have wood. Hannah does too. I have gas.
I just wanted to get the line in.
That's not the line. Those words were in the line, but that was not the line, and it was not said by yours
Amanda from the YouTube chat said, Brad is prepared. Ryan has no plan, just candy. Hannah looks to Annie. Annie has a plan.
Annie has a plan. Yeah.
Annie.
I mean, this is basic EMP conversation stuff, but for a week, the biggest question that I would have for this place is like, do they have hospitals? How long are the places that need to have electricity? Like a hospital,
Right.
like a jail,
Yeah.
those types of places. How long are they capable of just dealing with the emergency? Like this is in their emergency preparedness plan, and they're ready to rock and roll. All right, let's go. At what point does it become an emergency? Because in that regard, the power's coming back on. It's a matter of time.
Yeah. And 45,000 people?
Initially, now it's 36,000.
It's a lot of people, but it's fairly localized. Like there's,
It's a town.
Yeah.
It is, but we've, like you said, we've been through things like this before, even here in our lifetime, and we will again, I'm sure, at some point. How much more does this worry you, though, that this was an attack on a power station? Because that, to me, is
I have incredibly not enough information to know that.
Yeah, well, they don't know who did it yet, but it could literally just be some drunk guy or a couple guys on a Saturday night who decided they were going to do some deep vandalism. Didn't know exactly what they were doing. Or it could be an actual targeted terrorist attack. We don't know. But that's the part of this story beyond just, are you prepared, that really concerns me is just overall in our country, the energy grid, it's exposing the vulnerability. But like you said, it's localized, but it could be wider than this if a bunch of people decided to make it.
But
wider.
I mean, we saw that in Texas in a drastically exponentially larger scale. I think that's why we always end up talking about EMPs, because we already know that the power grid is susceptible.
Well, yeah, and I think like you're talking about like people just going and shooting up a power substation. If you had any idea, like if you just sat down and thought about the amount of our infrastructure that is just completely unguarded and vulnerable, you'd lose your mind.
I know.
You'd lose your mind.
And if you did that, which I recommend, you'd start making a plan now, because you don't make a plan after the fact. You got to do it now.
My whole point with the planning thing is that I've got a cupboard that's full of canned goods. I don't need to put more in the basement. I've already got a lot.
You have a family of 5.
Yeah, we got a lot of canned goods, though.
You saying you got a lot of canned goods at your house?
And macaroni.
I'm going to add that to my list.
I was just going
Oh, you're going to take over my house now.
I was just going to say, now everybody knows. I have nothing in my house.
I never told you what my plan was.
I was going to get Wiggins food. We'll be back with Matt Rosenberg in the 1 o'clock hour. Don't go away.
If you're considering an annuity as part of your retirement plan, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel, and host of On the Money, Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Annuities can be a useful tool for some retirement investors, but not all annuities are created equal. Every week, we meet clients who own complex annuities that don't suit their needs and, in some cases, actively undermine their retirement plan. Before you purchase an annuity, get a second opinion from the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel. Requesting a consultation is free of charge. To request a free consultation, contact us at clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member NYSE and SIPC.
Well, to the surprise of no one, I'm not a great grill artist. I know some people are, and it takes art to be a good grill master. And if you're grilling this time of year, you probably are. But I have taken it upon myself to become a better cook because of Andrea sauce. I've been able to do that. It's the great equalizer. I use Andrea sauce on just about everything I make, especially the proteins, of course, but we can use ingredients and other things like stews as well. And it makes everything so much better, and it's so easy that if you're a grill master, great. I'm sure you already know about Andrea's sauce. It's locally famous and internationally renowned. But if you're not, if you're like me and you're kind of an average cook to maybe below average, get Andrea's, and it'll make everything that you make easier to cook and better. In the stove, inside, it's easy to do. As a brush-on steak sauce or as a based, either way, Andrea's steak sauce is the way to go. You can get it at area grocery stores, and this time of year, you can actually get a holiday pack that has Andrea's steak sauce and salad dressing, all at andreas.com.
Nobody wants to miss the important things in life, and if it's because of bad vision, you don't have to. Mark Cox here from my friends at Brenton Vision. They can help you out. That's why I want you to take 2 minutes today to call my friends at Brenton at 314-375-2020 or go online to brentonvision.com. Your eyes are as unique as your fingerprint. Since Brenton Vision is the only place in Missouri offering all 7 forms of modern vision correction, they can create a customized treatment plan just for your vision. They helped my wife out. She chose the lens replacement therapy and now sees better than ever, and she loves it. You can have that same experience with Brenton Vision. They accept flex plans and medical spending plans as well at Brenton. So don't let that money expire or go to waste. See your best. Do what we did. Call Brenton Vision at 314-375-2020 or schedule online right now at brentonvision.com.
KFTK FM Florissant.
Driven by the Bommarito Automotive Group.
97.1 FM Talk.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. Free speech versus discrimination at the U.S. Supreme Court. Elisa Brady, Fox News. The justices hearing arguments over a state law aimed at preventing discrimination.
Colorado Solicitor General Eric Olson says a web designer refusing to offer wedding websites for same-sex couples runs afoul of the state's anti-discrimination law.
This rule would allow another web design company to say no interracial couple served. An ad agency could refuse women-led businesses.
Kristen Wagoner represents graphic designer Lori Smith.
Under Colorado's theory, jurisdictions could force a Democrat publicist to write a Republican's press release.
A majority of justices appeared sympathetic to religious objections, questioning whether a web designer is any different than an artist allowed to voice a point of view.
Fox's Jared Halpern in Washington. The House Republican leader may be picking a fight with the White House and defense chief over the military's mandate for COVID vaccines.
Secretary Austin's been very clear that he opposes the repeal of the vaccine mandate, and the president actually concurs with with the Secretary of Defense.
National Security Council spokesman John Kirby, after House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy said a defense authorization bill won't advance unless the military mandate is dropped. Pfizer is asking the FDA to approve the new Omicron targeting booster shots for children under age 5.
Toddlers currently get 3 shots, each just 1/10 of the adult amount, as their primary series. With approval, the 3rd dose would be swapped out for the updated Omicron-targeted shot. Last month, the CDC released the first real-world data showing the updated boosters from Pfizer or Moderna did offer added protection to adults.
The CDC says only 2% of kids under age 2 and 4% of 2 to 4-year-olds have had their initial doses of COVID vaccine. America is listening to Fox News.
When a cold comes on strong, knock it out with Vicks DayQuil Severe for max strength daytime relief. Just 1 dose of Vicks DayQuil Severe starts to relieve 9 of your worst cold and flu symptoms to help take you from 9 to none. Power through your day with Vicks DayQuil Severe, the daytime non-drowsy, coughing, aching, fever, sore throat, 9 to none medicine. Use as directed.
Dell Technologies' Days of Deals for Business start now with fresh, limited quantity deals on tech to drive productivity. Save on select performance laptops and desktops powered by 12th Gen Intel Core processors. Don't forget special pricing on the latest monitors, docks, and accessories, plus free shipping on everything, and special financing with Dell Business Credit. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling weather.
Kind of a poorly organized weather pattern over the middle of the country the next several days. A mix of clouds and sunshine this afternoon. Just a couple of sprinkles here and there. 52. Tonight, a couple of showers scattered about. Otherwise, cloudy skies. 38. Tuesday, mostly cloudy. Again, a chance of a couple of showers. Chilly Tuesday, 48. Best chance of rain this week will be Thursday and Thursday night. This is 97.1 FM Talk Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
4 distinct seasons, sometimes within a single day. Dave Murray's got you covered with Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling weather every day on 97.1 FM Talk.
Your home for conservative talk.
So Stewart's American Mortgage and the Bagel Loan is doing it once again. First of all, the Bagel Loan, if you're going to take out a mortgage, be it on a brand new house, be it on a refinance of your house, on a cash out refinance of your home, because you're going to use some money to improve the house, to pay down some debt, do whatever you need to do. If you'd use the Bagel Loan with Stewie, and he's the only one who has the Bagel Loan, if it's $200,000 or more, you pay nothing to go through the process of securing that loan. It's really that simple. I've done it twice now. The first time we drastically reduced our rate, and that was in, I think, 2018. We bought our house in 2015. Rates had gone down, and then, or 2019, and then in 2020 we went back and refinanced and took some cash out because the equity in our house had gone up, and we needed to replace a deck on the back of our house that was literally swinging back and forth when you walked on it. So we used the equity in our home and a cash out refinance that actually secured us another lower rate. Rates have gone down since the last 90 days. So even if you have gotten a mortgage recently, a cash out refinance or just a normal refinance with Stewart's American Mortgage still makes a ton of sense, and it doesn't cost you anything. 314-324-4440, 314-324-4440. Google the Bagel Loan, NMLS number 226715.
I'm back to doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet Store.
Hi, this is Arnold, owner of the Good Feet Store. Does it feel like someone is stabbing a knife into your heel? Does your lower back hurt more and more as the day goes on?
I had to go nonstop from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. every day. Every time I stood up, pain just shot up my legs. Fortunately, I found the Good Feet Store. I went to them after my doctor diagnosed me with plantar fasciitis. Now, thanks to the Good Feet Store, I'm 100% pain-free.
Come to the Good Feet Store this holiday season and give the gift of pain relief to you and your loved ones.
Call 314-317-9494 or visit one of our 2 locations on Olive, Catty Corner from TGI Fridays, or in Shiloh, Illinois, across from Deerberg's.
Thanks to the Good Feet Store.
Individual results may vary. Consult your physician for medical conditions. Visit the website goodfeetStLouis.com.
Come in and try the good feet feeling today. Flex spending and gift cards available. Some restrictions apply.
Add a little pop of flavor and fun to your company's holiday gifting plans.
At Pop Pop Hooray, we offer a wide variety of corporate gift options with over 50 popcorn flavors to choose from and unique customization options to provide one-of-a-kind popcorn gifts for anyone.
Whether you're surprising clients, staff members, or friends, let us provide you with a memorable gift that really pops.
We even offer shipping. Just give us the address and we'll handle the rest, with locations in Ferguson and now St. Charles.
Call or visit online at poppopHooray.com. Pop Pop Hooray. More flavor, more fun, endless possibilities.
Tony La Russa here. Has your loss of energy and weight gain thrown you a curveball in your relationship? If so, go see my friends over at Victory Men's Health. Discreet, first-class professionals will help you hit those curves out of the park. VictoryMen'sHealth.com. That's VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
Everybody knows you gotta get it at Clement. Everybody knows you gotta get it at Clement. Find the car you want, new or used. Get it at Clement, get pre-approved. Everybody knows you gotta get it at Clement. Everybody knows you gotta get it at Clement. ClementAutoGroup.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Would you like to see Donald Trump as president again?
Oh, God, I've had enough of my politics. I've just gone through 4 of our elections. You want me to get into your elections? Keep me out of it.
Would you like to see him as American president, though? Is that good for Israel in your mind?
Well, let me say that I'll deal with anyone who's elected president, those that I worked with in the past, and anyone new who comes to the plate, because the bond between Israel and America, and this is not a shibboleth, this is not just a saying, it really is a bond of peoples, and it's a civilizational bond, and it's strong. I'll deal with anyone, and I certainly will not step on that landmine that you just put before me, Chuck. Come on, I've been in this business long enough, and so have you. Keep trying.
Fair enough, and I appreciate you asking me to keep trying.
Who is that? It's not on the sheet.
Chuck Todd.
Netanyahu, the Israel prime minister, just won. I cannot keep up with Israel's political system. It is different than ours and it's complicated, but Netanyahu just recently won re-election, and he just said it's 4 recent re-elections. And he's asked about Trump. I wonder what... I can't, because I feel too close to the issue, gauge if that's a responsible question by Chuck Todd or an irresponsible, obsessive question by Chuck Todd. Because I ask myself, if Chuck Todd is there to represent you, and when I say you, I'm talking to anybody who's listening right now, not Republicans or Democrats or conservatives or liberals, I'm just talking to you. Do you need to know what Netanyahu thinks and feels about Donald Trump? How does that affect your day? I got to think that there are a lot of issues right now that if you had the opportunity to speak with Bibi Netanyahu, that you would want to know answers to a lot of questions. And I just don't understand how high on the list, how do you feel about Donald Trump, really needs to be. I don't think about Donald Trump a fraction of the time that I think Chuck Todd thinks about Donald Trump. They're obsessed with him.
Chuck Todd already knows the answer to that question, too. Benjamin Netanyahu is going to say exactly what he just said, which is, I'm not going to destroy the bond that Israel has with the United States over anybody being the president. We have a bond. I'm going to work with whoever the U.S. president is. It is a little bit obsessive for Chuck Todd to ask that question.
It's bizarre. I don't understand, to me, it's Chuck Todd looking to make Chuck Todd a soundbite that's going to get played everywhere else afterwards.
He's looking for some sort of domestic issue to ask about instead of asking actual international questions that require research.
It's going so well in the United States that that's at the top of the list.
Yeah. He's looking for a condemnation of anti-Semitism, and he's trying to get Bibi Netanyahu to call Donald Trump an anti-Semite because he had dinner with Nick Fuentes. That's what that's about.
Without asking that direct question.
Right.
Yeah.
But
I think you're right.
But it's about hurting Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And having a discussion with Netanyahu and requiring his thoughts and opinions on Donald Trump, who is running for president. He's the only one who we know for sure is running for president in 2024. It's just so predictable that this is constantly the drumbeat that comes out of media. Like, am I in my mind, if I'm listening to Brett Baer interview Netanyahu, does he ask that question? I don't think he does.
Yeah, I don't think so either. It's really amazing that it is December of 22. So still roughly 2 years away from the presidential election.
701 days.
There you go. You're good
We're
for it.
We're almost in the 600s.
So that they're already trying to frame up Donald Trump and take him down. And we're not even close to that election. Yes, he has announced that he's running, but they have started now. But really, I mean, I'm saying this as if they'd ever stopped. They never stopped going after him. They knew he was maybe going to run. Now officially he is, and it's going to be this for the next 2 years.
So we have talked about the Twitter files. I've talked about that for basically the entire first hour, and of course, Donald Trump had something to say about the Twitter files. He couldn't help himself. I was really, really hoping that would be his return tweet. Would be like a told ya.
Yeah.
Like just simple. Like don't even elaborate on it. It would be, it may become the most retweeted tweet, most interacted tweet that has existed on Twitter up until that point. I was watching his follows tick up when his account was restored with Twitter. I mean, it was going up by the hundreds of thousands. So those people were sitting there, and it would have been something to observe. So all of this is taking place on the Twitter files released by Matt Taibbi, who is the journalist who is tweeting the thread. And I want to talk about the methodology in the 2 o'clock hour, so stick around for that. You're going to have a little fun with that. Meanwhile, Donald Trump, who owns Truth Social, is truthing.
We could just say saying, but
no,
we can't do that now.
No.
It's called a truth.
It's tweeting or truthing, parlaying.
I mean, I could tweet. No, I could go on to True Social. I have an account there at Andy Fry Show. I could go on to True Social and say Joe Biden won the election, and I'd have to click a button that says truth, right?
Mm-hmm.
To send it. That's just ironic.
It's like post your truth.
Yes. I mean, it's ironic to do that on True Social, which is Donald Trump's platform. It's like just to click a button that says, is that right? Is that how it works? I don't use it very much.
We could get on there and post the sun revolves around the earth. Truth.
What's on your mind? No, it says truth exclamation point.
Oh, okay.
Oh. I just don't want to get banned. I don't really care. So Donald Trump goes onto his platform, which is what he should do. That's a smart thing.
Of course.
React on there because people go and they will go to True Social. Really, I mean, this is how powerful his gravitational pull actually is. You know when I go onto True Social? To see what Donald Trump has to say.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know when else I go on True Social?
That's it.
This is what he said in the midst of the Twitter files being released. So, with the revelation of massive and widespread fraud and deception in working closely with big tech companies, the DNC and the Democrat Party, do you throw the presidential election results of 2020 out and declare the rightful winner, or do you have a new election? A massive fraud of this type and magnitude allows for the termination of all rules, regulations, and articles, even those found in the Constitution. Our great, in quotes, founders did not want and would not condone false and fraudulent elections. I screenshot that and put it on Twitter and just said, nope, that's not it. This is simple. And then here, this is what I want to ask you guys. This was a reply that I got. So do you just ignore what happened? Oh, well, too late now. The man is asking for some kind of recourse. A fraudulent election has already usurped the Constitution. We're past that. Kerry said the next step was armed revolution. Trump, at least, is not there yet. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a binary choice. It is not either, well, we just say, screw it, this is the new system, and, people do whatever they want. It was a fraud election, but who cares? We're just going to forge ahead and pretend it never happened. Or, in the words of Donald Trump, do we suspend the Constitution? A massive fraud of this type and magnitude allows for the termination of all rules, regulations, and articles, even those found in the Constitution. If there is legal recourse that President Trump has here because of the Constitution, I am sorry. That is not a 240 character or whatever Truth Social is, brevity-based point that you can make, and he's not making a legal point. He's making a statement. And there is a big difference between bringing up a conversation about legalities and making a statement. And I don't understand why this is the statement he chose to make. I don't get it. I don't think it's helpful. I don't like even the phrase talking about the termination of all rules, regulations, and articles, even those found in the Constitution. I just don't. I can't. And when I say something like that, if I challenge that, the response from a lot of people out there is, so do you just ignore what happened? Broaden your thinking. Like, expand your mind to consider what we know now and where we're going, and understand that there is not a recourse in what has been exposed so far. And again, I think that there is going to be a lot more damning things that are released in time. We'll see. Maybe there won't be. Maybe I'm wrong on that. But we cannot be so like knee-jerk reaction to this where we think that this happened, to the mattresses. I want to be above it.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot to say about this. I mean, it's one of the reasons that we're talking about it on the Annie Frey Show a lot today, and a lot of other people are too. It's because it's a big, big issue. But for him to say, I may lose followers here just because people don't like to hear this, but it's true. The suppression of information does not mean that it was a fraudulent election. It does mean that there was election interference.
It affected it.
It absolutely did.
And it could have affected it to where the outcome would have been different. It also could have affected it to where maybe the totals would be different, but Joe Biden still would have won. We don't know.
We don't know for sure, no.
Brad, what? The first year that the wild card was put into play in baseball.
Yes.
We played the Braves.
Right.
There was a
infield fly.
This is a massively controversial baseball play. So what happened was, I can't remember who hit the infield fly.
Oh man,
it's a known.
It was
person.
one of the shortstops.
Raphael Furcal. I just said a random name.
This is after Raphael.
Okay.
Stop.
Yeah.
Shh.
Dummy.
Pete Kozma.
Yes.
Wow.
Hits an infield fly that lands but third into left field. So it turns out this is the first year for the wild card. So this is the first wild card game. It was, I think the Cardinals had maybe a runner on. Well, I don't know, whatever the infield fly rules that had to be in play. The Cardinals, if the Braves would have gotten the infield fly, it would have changed the direction of the game.
Right.
The direction of the game.
Because it would have been an out.
Because an infield fly there's an out and then it's a dead ball?
No, runners advance at their own risk. So even if the infielder doesn't catch it,
they
call infield fly, batters out.
Yes.
And then whatever happens after that is how the runners can advance. So if the guy gets underneath it and catches it, then the runners have to go back and tag up and go. If not, they can advance at their own risk.
The umpire calls an infield fly. Based on an amateur's viewing of this, you're like, but he's a third of the way into the outfield.
Right. He's not on the infield.
He's not on the infield. How can it possibly be an infield fly? People on the Braves and the fans were not happy. Like, go watch the YouTube of it. They threw a lot of stuff onto the field. It is the umpire's judgment, completely, bottom line, the umpire's judgment as to whether or not it qualifies as an infield fly. The shortstop was there to make the play. I mean, if you go back and look at it, you'd be like, I don't think that was an infield fly. And other people will be like, it was absolutely an infield fly. It doesn't matter. What matters is the umpires made a call. And you could go back and look on that and say, the Braves got hosed. And you could re-litigate that over and over and over on all of the sports, on all of the ESPN channels and all of the sports talk radio channels and go over it over and over and over again. And it might actually be the case that the Braves got royally screwed because of that call and that it was wrong. But it's not challengeable. It's not reviewable. It's a judgment call by the umpire. And it just was. And the Braves lost that game and the Cardinals advanced. If on the day after, the night of, the day after, the week after, the season after, you go back and talk about that all the time and whine about it, you're never going to re-win that game. You may play that ball differently as a shortstop going deep into left field to make a play. You may play that differently. And people might still have every right to be furious about it. But you can't undo what was done. And I feel that way about the 2020 election. I also think about, I say this with my basketball players all the time, but like, you know, if an official makes a call that you don't like, did you miss any shots in that game? Did you travel in that game? Did you get too many fouls in that game? Was there anything that you could do better that you should focus on individually that would make your team better the next time? At this point, we have to focus on what makes us better for the next time. And anybody who's talking to you about like overturning the 2020 election this is not a functional conversation. It's not a productive conversation. And my opinion is what President Trump is saying here. Well, I feel like he would be to see what he is seeing come out so far in these Twitter files, for him to be outraged by this, he's been outraged. It will make him go, see, I told you. And I understand that. But what he's saying here encourages people to have hopes and expectations that are not actionable and they're not going to happen. And that, to me, stokes anger and rage that he may appropriate for his own personal campaign, but it does not help A, the Republican Party, B, the country, or C, the Republican Party's future hope of defeating Democrats who are doing things, specifically, I will tell you, in the state of Illinois, we're going to talk about next, that are egregious bastardations of the Constitution. I don't think what he's saying, I don't know what Donald Trump's thinking, but I don't think that was responsible. And I think he knows what he's doing, and I don't like it.
Yeah, I think he's mashing issues together because he's talking about fraud versus this thing, and those are different conversations. This thing is a new revelation about the suppression of information via government, via big tech, via media personalities. It is a huge, huge story. It doesn't necessarily equal what Trump is saying it is. He's talking about other things and using the same terms to talk about them. Although the Constitution thing is brand new. I haven't heard him say that before.
I just feel like the keep your eyes on the prize thing, that there are so many people trying to distract your attention. And I think that this is one of them. And I know that there are people who are out there who are going to be mad at me that I said anything bad about Trump. I'm sorry that I upset you, but I said what I said. And I know that there are going to be people who say, then you need to condemn Donald Trump right now. And you want me to join you in your derangement. And I'm not joining you. Like, I am not purchasing and punching a ticket for that. show.
Yeah.
Oh, that was close.
It's like you said at the beginning. This isn't a binary choice.
It's not. It's actually the opposite of that.
Right.
There are so many colors of gray in the midst of this. And I will swear off having to swear complete allegiance to either side. Both of those sides are well populated. You don't need me. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, Matt Rosenberg is going to join us. He's a senior editor at Wirepoints. Guess what? That Safety Act, you was talking to you about what Democrats in control are doing. Well, the Democrats in the state of Illinois increased their supermajority, and that's going to take place in January. But right now, with the current supermajority that they have, those Democrats decided to make some changes to the Safety Act. But is it anywhere near enough? Matt Rosenberg is going to report on the edits that were made to the Safety Act. When we come back, don't go away.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
St. Louis is home for conservative talk.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Monday afternoon, the very latest on the ongoing war in Ukraine and a preview of the Georgia runoff.
Weekdays from 3 to 6. The Mark Reardon Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
IGotFloored.com is the website. Go visit them to do a little holiday shopping for yourself. My husband and I have been chatting about gifts for Christmas, of course, and we always tend to make bigger purchases for our house, for the kids, for the family, or whatever. And we just are like, high five, Christmas gift to each other. Maybe flooring is that for you. I want you to go to IGotFloored.com, which is where you'll learn about Michael's Flooring Outlet, how they have been serving St. Louis for well over a quarter of a century, and how customer after customer after customer has gone to Michael's Flooring Outlet because it is where you go to get value and quality and the best in customer service. You can go online to IGotFloored.com and request an estimate for your space, whether it's your home, your place of business, maybe your church. Michael's Flooring Outlet has solutions for you for each and every situation that you might be facing. You can check out all of their different products, their carpet tile, hardwood laminate tile, luxury vinyl, waterproof flooring, that Mohawk Smart Strand carpeting that everybody is looking for, natural stone, even glass tile. It's all there online waiting for you to check it out. Go give them a try. IGotFloored.com.
This holiday, give the people you treasure something they'll treasure, a gift from Shane Company. Our unique jewelry makes a spectacular gift. I'm Tom Shane. One of my favorites is an elegant necklace featuring a colorful east-west gemstone with diamond accents for $250. We offer it in 4 different gemstones, so you can select a color she loves. Choose red garnet, purple amethyst, sky blue topaz, or yellow citrine. Another favorite are diamond huggy earrings for $1,145. I picked these hoops because they fit close to the ear and are great for any occasion. Select either white gold, yellow gold, or rose gold. Our link necklace at $525 is a favorite because the diamond accents give the gold a touch of sparkle. Visit us for more gifts at a great value. Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
Mark Cox here with a real estate update and insight from my friend and trusted realtor Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Gloria says, look, sitting on the sidelines may not be the best strategy moving forward in a continually shifting market. Homes aren't selling as fast, and in most cases, price reductions are becoming pretty common. Gloria also says that earlier this year, with low inventory, sellers didn't need a strategy to sell because homes were listed and sold immediately. Now more than ever, though, it is crucial to have a proven strategy to get your home sold. That's why I strongly suggest you call Gloria Liu before you list your home to get the absolute most money. Get this, Gloria is so confident she'll sell your home, she will guarantee in writing up front to sell it at your agreed-to price and time frame, or she will buy it. Call her at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888, or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
I promise that you'll never find another like me. I know that I'm a handful, baby.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
Never find another like me.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. We're happy that you're here with us this Monday afternoon. It's beautiful here in St. Louis. Hope you're enjoying the day. If you're listening to us on the Odyssey app, a reminder, you can take us with you anywhere you go. We know that there are people across the country, even across the globe, who take the Odyssey app with them wherever they go, and we're grateful for you. So if you're interested in downloading that, AUDACY, follow 97.1 FM Talk, and the Annie Frey Show is right there, noon to 3 Central, each and every day. You can even rewind. I wanted to cover this story because I think it's something that we haven't talked very much about Illinois since the election. It was butt-kicking for Republicans in the state. It's incredibly disappointing for me, and I don't think that I really need to explain that to you. I'm not afraid to show you my feelings and emotions on it because I care. I'm passionate about it. And I know that a lot of you folks are going to say, Annie, leave the state. And I'm going to tell you the most important things to me are in this state. And if that changes, maybe so will my address. The Safety Act was a huge issue that was being discussed before the election. A lot of people had trouble with it. 100 out of 102 state's attorneys were against the Safety Act. It was something that was kind of passed in the dead of night and then delayed to go into effect on January 1st of 2023, and it turns out that even a supermajority of Democrats acknowledged, yeah, there are some issues with this bill. It's let's just get to the details with it with Wirepoints, Matt Rosenberg. He's a senior editor at Wirepoints, and I encourage you to go to wirepoints.org because they do great stuff there. Matt, thank you for coming on with us today to talk about this issue.
You bet, Annie. It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
So just give us the lay of the land here. The Safety Act was brought up in a veto session to provide some edits to the bill as it was. It's still going to go into effect on January 1st. What kind of changes did they elect to make?
Right. First, I'd like to mention what they didn't change, if that's okay, but I will get right to it. They're allowing cash bail still to be abolished on January 1. That's a huge issue and the subject of lawsuits consolidated now into one by 58 different county state's attorneys. They're also leaving in toxic anti-police provisions, allowing anonymous complaints for state decertification and rescinding the requirement for sworn affidavits for local police misconduct complaints and, make those complaints, hold police accountable, no question, but not anonymously. They're also leaving in dangerous twice-weekly furloughs for pretrial defendants on electronic monitoring. And finally, they're failing to do anything to mandate sentencing transparency online. That's a whole nother show in and of itself. But they did make some big changes. They made about 7. I could pick a few and run through them real quick if you'd like me to.
Sure. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, number 1, there was concern that Safety Act abolition of cash bail would be retroactive to guys held on cash bail before January 1, that the jails would just be massively cleared out. Now, that was poo-pooed and ridiculed, but in the end, they had to put in a hearing process so that, yes, if a defendant wants to make a case that, hey, I should not be held on cash bail, I was put in here before, but I want to enjoy the same benefits as new defendants after January 1, he can at least have a hearing. So that at least brings some order to the process, and it is responsive to concerns prosecutors had. So that's one. Another huge thing they did, there are 2 that are connected. There was a very tough standard to detain someone on no cash bail before trial. That has always still been an option, but the language set a super high bar. It said you had to prove the defendant was a threat to a specific identifiable individual. That's very hard to prove. So the prosecutors won on that one, too, in the end, with the help of majority lawmakers who agreed, let's lower the standard to the defendant poses a threat to the community at large. That was huge. And that allowed lawmakers to also add a long new list of very serious crimes, which are now detainable. That's the key word here, detainable, which were not detainable before. Very heavy-duty crimes were virtually off the table to hold the defendant before trial. Now they're not. There have been a series of other improvements. They got rid of the 48-hour free roaming for guys who bust off their ankle bracelets. You know, how it was they put that in the first place is amazing. So they've unmade about 7 messes that they made. But, we've still got a lawsuit that was going to be heard this Wednesday in Kankakee County Court. Now, very oddly, I learned this morning, it has been pushed back to December 20th because they say they're waiting to see if the governor signs the amendments, and there's supposed to be no connection between the legislative and the judicial. So I'm scratching my head on that one, Annie.
Man, I want to go back to that one part that you said that was left in, and it was about the furloughs and the ankle monitoring. Can you tell me a little bit more about that? We haven't talked about the Safety Act here for quite some time. I think people have, since the election in Illinois, especially with as unfortunate as it turned out, at least if you're of my persuasion, that people kind of have taken a minute and exhaled a little bit because it was so frustrating. But, the concern about the Safety Act was how it did not invest in the safety of communities and people who are on the other end of those who commit the crimes. And of course, you're not guilty until proven so. But the idea that people would be released with an ankle monitor and the types of criminals that would be released was of great concern.
Right. And like a lot of things that go wrong, this was rooted in a compassionate impulse. The idea was, look, if a guy is on electronic monitoring and typically confined to his or her home, the defendant, what if they need to go, to church? What if they need to go see a job counselor? What if they need to go grocery shopping? We should find a way to let them do that. So this idea of 2 8-hour furloughs per week for everyone on electronic monitoring became part of the Safety Act. The problem is, as Cook County Sheriff Tom Dart reported widely and the media reported, many of these people out on furlough went and did bad stuff, real bad stuff, that earned them new felony charges. So there was a push to roll back those furloughs, but that did not come through in the amendments. I think the middle ground here would be to grant these furloughs. They're called essential movement. That's the term they use, and it's a fair enough term. To grant these on a case-by-case basis, but not in a blanket manner. It should depend on who the defendant is. They're charged for a new crime. Well, do they have 2 prior felony convictions? Maybe they shouldn't get an essential movement furlough, But there's not that fine-grained approach to this issue. They did take a more fine-grained approach to a number of other objections and basically fixed them after, mind you, ridiculing the critics. Even, one House member in the majority said there's a bad stench of racism coming from the other side of the aisle in general reference to these various suggestions, which now have all been taken for the most part. So, there was a lot of toxic rhetoric around this, and it didn't just cut one way.
We're speaking with Matt Rosenberg. He's a senior editor at Wirepoints. He's also the author of What Next, Chicago? Notes of a Pissed Off Native Son. I think a lot of us can relate to that as well. I'm curious about, the idea that this bill was going to require some changes. It was something that we saw bipartisan support for, frustration towards this bill and anger towards this bill in the election. Both Democrats and Republicans that are in the legal system were opposed to it. How was this passed through, these amendments? Was it supported by Democrats and Republicans alike, or was it led by one party over the other?
Are you speaking about the amendments that were recently approved, or
yes.
The original bill?
No. Well, I mean, that's the thing that I wish more people in Illinois would understand, is that the original bill was passed through with only Democrat support. Like, the Republicans don't even need to read the bill because they have enough votes in the General Assembly to pass these types of things. But those changes to the bill, was there bipartisan support for the changes that were just passed?
Yes, and I just spoke today to a Republican state's attorney who was not one of the ones who filed suit. DuPage County State's Attorney Robert Berlin. He's a good guy, very solid, very knowledgeable. He was part of a small working group of 4 county state's attorneys. The other 3 were Democrats who worked with House and Senate Democratic leaders in sort of Zoom conferences basically negotiating section. So bottom line is, finally, under the gun, and perhaps because they're facing a lawsuit that was to be heard this Wednesday and is now delayed 2 weeks, perhaps because they're facing a lawsuit, legislative Democrats decided to give. And they did give significantly, and they were really listening. They didn't give everything that critics of the act would want. But the problem is still what remains. As I said at the outset, cash bail is still to be abolished January 1st. Well, our state constitution guarantees cash bail, and that's probably item number one in the lawsuit. And, a number of things, as I said at the outset, are not corrected. I won't repeat them, but would refer people to our article at Wirepoints about this.
Man, I want you to check out wirepoints.org and read more from Matt Rosenberg and the people doing great work there. Wirepoints.org. Matt, thank you so much for being with us today. We appreciate you, and we will continue to follow this story and Wirepoints as they continue to report on it.
Well, very good, and we're happy to come back and give you updates as developments warrant.
Sounds great. Matt Rosenberg, thank you so much. We'll talk to you again soon. I've got the word written right on top of Matt Rosenberg for Michael's Flooring Outlet, and I keep going over there and looking at that. I should have highlighted it. All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll get the crew back in here and talk a little bit more, get more reaction to what we've been discussing so far. And, is the idea of 2024, is that something that is that a big concern to you right now? Is that where your mind is? I mean, think about that for a second. Is it there because you're listening to the show? Or if you're not listening to talk radio or watching news on television, are you thinking about the 2024 election? Give us a comment. Let us know. We'll be right back.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
The countdown is on. Ring in 2023 at New Year's Eve live at Ballpark Village. Pop the bottles and celebrate the best New Year's Eve party in town. Complete with premium all-inclusive drink packages from 8 until midnight. Access to 6 parties. Exclusive VIP upgrades. Live band and DJ. Kiss 2022 goodbye with a New York-style ball drop. Complimentary champagne toast, party favors, and celebration. For tickets and event details, head to stlballparkvillage.com/events.
'Tis the season to get blitzened. Tinsel Tavern has taken over Budweiser Brewhouse at Ballpark Village now through New Year's Day. Immerse yourself in this holiday pop-up bar decked to the halls, literally with floor-to-ceiling decor, featuring a festive food and drink menu that absolutely slays, multiple photo ops, holiday-themed events, and more. Reservations are open daily from 4 p.m. till midnight. For table reservations, check out stlballparkvillage.com.
Beat the holiday rush and get the Mark Reardon special. 3 rooms, 0 resified, starting at $119. You can also get $50 off your air duct cleaning when you call 314-474-2020 or book online at ZeroResSTL.com. Zero Res, spell it backward or forward, it spells the same. Zero Res.
Hi, Thomas Helbig here with the Retirement Advisory Group. We'd like to wish all of you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I grew up right here in St. Louis, part of a large family, and that's what makes the holidays so special. The things we hold in our hearts, not in our hands. It's the people, family, friends, and the personal relationships that grow stronger with the passing of time. In the past 35 years, we've become part of many lasting relationships, and we've made a lot of friends in and around St. Louis, and that just can't be taken away. So as we turn the page and put yet another year in the books, I know a lot of us have endured some difficult times this past year. And for those of you who may have lost loved ones, our hearts go out to you. Here's hoping next year will bring even more joy and blessings to you, and remember the important things to be thankful for. So once again, from all of us at the Retirement Advisory Group, we'd like to wish all of you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And from me and my family, I'm Thomas Helbig.
Hello, everybody. I'm John Rooney. Do you have an old car that's taking up room in the driveway? Repairs are costly and selling is a hassle? That's why you should donate it to Goodwill. Donating is quick and towing is free. Plus, you get a tax receipt and 4 tickets to a Cardinals game next year, compliments of the St. Louis Cardinals. That's a win-win. For more information or to donate, visit online at mersgoodwill.org. Must mention Cardinals.
So Roadmap Technologies is a service-disabled veteran-owned small business, and that matters to a lot of us. You want to be able to support those local small businesses, especially if they're veteran-owned. I want you to think about your IT at your small business. I want you to think about your IT maybe at a place you volunteer. How is that being managed? If you've looked at IT and the kind of monster in the closet that is, a lot of people do a lot of guess and check. And IT services is not where you want to guess and check. You want experts who are there, who know what they're doing, who know how to make sure that you have the IT coverage and security that you need, and also that you're not paying for a whole bunch of stuff that you don't. When it comes to making sure you have your software licenses up to date, to make sure that you're covered across the board, IT security is one of those places where you do need to invest in an expert who will tell you exactly what you need and keep you from paying all those extra fees. Roadmap Technologies is that place for you. Roadmap Technologies knows how to maximize your security and your coverage, and they're looking forward to talking to you about how they can help you with your IT solutions. 314-222-0057. That's 314-222-0057. RoadmapTech.com.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
Celebrating 22 years as St. Louis's home for conservative talk. 97.1 FM Talk. Thanks for being a part of it. This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
Don't go. Oh, baby, baby. Don't go.
The collusion between the media and the government is pretty apparent, especially left-wing media and left-wing government. It's pretty apparent that there's some narratives that get shared back and forth, and they have talking points, and they don't talk about things they're not supposed to, like the Hunter Biden laptop story or something that's actual news. Just gets
crazy
story. Because if that was the Donald Trump Jr. laptop, holy would that lead every night?
That's Joe Rogan talking about the Twitter files and talking about the collusion between the Democratic Party and big tech. So I've talked quite a bit about this today, and I've gotten your reaction as well on the live chat as comments continue to come in. Our YouTube live chat poll today is, will the Twitter files exposed under Elon Musk have a positive impact on free speech? Yes or no, or nothing will, or yes or no, nothing will happen. Ryan, what do you think? What's your reaction to the Twitter files, and do you think it's going to move the needle at all?
I do. I tried to put the shoe on the other foot for this a little bit because it's been strange watching the left try to defend this in a variety of facets. And so I thought, well, maybe there's something here that I need to examine to make sure that I'm not just having my red jersey on and I'm going to react the way I am. So I tried to listen to it from the other side a little bit. But if you switch, just like Joe Rogan did there, actually, you switch the parties, you switch Donald Trump Jr. for Hunter Biden. This is everywhere, and it's everywhere in October of 2020, that particular story. But what we're talking about is not just one story. If it were one party colluding with one media outlet to suppress a story, I think we'd all say, yeah, that's kind of scandalous, but we all kind of expect that to happen. This is so far beyond that. It's multiple politicians. It's mostly the left. It's so many people involved in talking to Twitter. It's law enforcement agencies talking to Twitter. It's so many people in on the take here that are trying to suppress information, and most of them within the government or at least a party, although I think probably not exclusive to Democrats, but mostly Democrats.
What do you go ahead.
It is a huge, huge story. And for this for people to try to paper over it and say, well, it's not as big, it's not the bombshell. This is a bombshell. It's just one that's played out over time that we've all seen happening, that now we're actually getting the evidence for what we've all been experiencing on Twitter for so long.
What do you think, Brad?
I think this is a very, very big deal. I think what people are missing is that, one of the parts of the big Twitter thread that stuck out to me was, I think it was Ro Khanna was the Democratic congressman who reached out to, what's her name? Is it Vijaya? The head of Twitter, safety, that was making the decision on suppressing this. He said, and I'm basically paraphrasing here, he goes, "This looks like a First Amendment violation. I just want to remind you that this is a violation of the."
He's like, not worried about your Twitter policies.
Right.
I'm worried about the Constitution.
And she like immediately responded with, "Well, Twitter policy is A, B, and C." And he's like, no. The Constitution.
Let me reinstate where I'm coming from as a congressman.
Right. And so what we saw here was the suppression of an article from a reputable, for lack of a better term, reputable news source. This wasn't some non-mainstream blog website. This was the New York Post. And Twitter took their article down, and they haven't done that. We have freedom of the press in the United States. The press are allowed to press things. And Twitter has become the medium through which everything gets disseminated. It's the first place to go to find news. When news breaks, you'll find it on Twitter before you'll find it anywhere else. And Twitter putting their thumb on the scale, putting the brakes on this story, basically stifling it any way that they can, and not having any real reason other than we maybe kind of sort of think that this is possibly hacked, but even in saying that, they're like, well, it's not actually, we don't have any evidence to show that it was hacked information and a violation of their policy. They still put the brakes on it. And that to me is a big deal. And so you've asked the question in the Twitter poll today, will it make a difference in free speech? And I think it will. And the reason that I think that the Twitter file dump will make a difference in the free speech is because of who is in charge of Twitter. It's Elon Musk. And when you look at Elon Musk and his reaction to this, he is incensed and he is outraged by it, which is why he's releasing the information. So if it matters to him, it's going to change the way Twitter behaves. And if it changes the way Twitter behaves and operates, it's going to affect more things because of the reach that Twitter has.
Hannah, what do you think about, I don't know if you were able to follow all of the tweets or if it was even of interest to you. I understand if it wasn't, but are you paying attention personally to what's going on here and Elon Musk's ownership and how he's really made this a possibility?
Honestly, it's a lot to take in. I am interested in it, and I'm trying to learn more about it, but it's a lot to take in. For the YouTube poll today, when it's asking if it's going to have a positive impact on free speech, I believe it will, or at least I hope it will.
Mm-hmm.
I hope his efforts are good and are, going to work towards to better free speech and protect that. But the Hunter Biden stuff and everything like that, I honestly am left feeling a little confused. It's a lot to take in.
Yeah. I think that there's going to be a direct connection to the now Republican-held House of Representatives once it takes place in January, where this is going to have to be investigated again. Like the Hunter Biden stuff, people need to understand the difference between Hunter Biden's demons and addictions and personal problems, and how, along with those things, that he had relationships across the world, the entire globe, that had 8 figures or bigger of, and deals that were done, maybe not money that was coming directly to him or to the big guy or whomever it was. Like, these are massively lucrative deals in areas that he did not have expertise in, and connections that were made, in his own words, because of his name and who his family is. That's the part where it becomes the business of the American voter and taxpayer. And this is all connected to that, but this isn't that yet. You got to think that, I don't know who would be looking at what we've seen so far and not think that there's honestly, like, you could probably go through the emails, like, at this company or any company, and start exposing communications that go back and forth And anybody who is writing emails right now who wouldn't be willing to go say them out loud in the cafeteria space, you're not thinking enough about what you're writing down on paper or in an electronic communication. Don't you think that there's going to be a lot more to come?
Oh, yeah. I mean, this story, that one story about the laptop is getting the headlines right now because it's the most obvious example of Twitter stepping in and blocking something. But it is story after story. It's narrative after narrative that they have either suppressed or pumped one way or another. And so we're just beginning to see this. I mean, imagine the COVID era with completely free speech. It would have been very, very different. And so we're just seeing the beginnings of this thing, I think.
Man. I want to talk about when we come back the difference between like 1992 and 2022 and the way that this information was released, because I thought it was hilarious. This Twitter thread, it was being put out on Twitter with the blessing of the man who owns Twitter, and the Twitter thread, they would tweet one tweet at a time with minutes to go, and people were losing their minds. Let us know on the YouTube live chat poll if you think that this is going to make any positive impact on free speech, yes or no. We'll be right back.
Recent impacts with inflation, ongoing COVID concerns, and geopolitical conflict have us all and the markets on edge. Heisey Advisory Group understands the importance of having a customized strategy for retirement, especially during uncertain times, to help ensure these concerns don't have an impact on your retirement. Heisey Advisory Group is a St. Louis-based, family-owned and operated holistic retirement planning firm. Our team has defined a process that puts together all the pieces of the financial puzzle, working with all of your service providers to help develop an individualized plan that grows with you as your life changes and your needs evolve. If you're not confident that your retirement plan is on track to deliver the lifestyle you want amid historic levels of uncertainty, call us today at 314-328-6000. Again, that's 314-328-6000.
Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Firm provides insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through A Wealth Management, LLC.
Well, this is that time of year for pictures. Lots of pictures being taken either ahead for Christmas cards, or there will be a lot around Christmas and Christmas Eve. If you are thinking maybe a little anxiety around your smile, you want to get a teeth whitening, check out Fountains Family Dentistry. They do that there. They're kind of a one-stop shop for everything, whether it be teeth whitening, oral cancer screenings, anything regarding your teeth or your mouth, they cover that. And also those sleep apnea mouth guards that I recommend so highly, they do those there. If you have kids or even a little bit of dental anxiety with anything like teeth cleanings, recommend them too. Fountains Family Dentistry is full of very, very kind and nice people who will make you comfortable and your kids comfortable. If they are a little wild or whatever, they know how to deal with kids there. They're great. FountainsFamilyDentistry.com is where you go. You can request an appointment right there on the website. Highly recommend you do that because it's so easy. So check them out online. They're in Fairview Heights, Illinois. Online, you visit them at FountainsFamilyDentistry.com.
If you own a house in St. Louis and you want to sell it as is without any inspections or need to make any repairs, call Chris Buys Homes St. Louis at 314-782-8000 or at chrisbuyshomeSt.Louis.com and get your cash offer without any obligation, commissions, banks, or headaches. Chris buys vacant houses, inherited houses, fixer-uppers, beautiful houses, even the tenant won't pay their rent apartment. Google Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis. That's Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis. And check out the best reviews from satisfied customers. When you sell to Chris, you decide when you want to move, according to your schedule and your terms. Go to chrisbuyshomesinstlouis.com. Google Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis or call 314-782-8000. That's 314-782-8000. And get the offer you have been waiting for. Chris Buys Homes in St. Chris Buys Homes in St. or call 314-782-8000.
KFTK FM Florissant.
Driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group.
97.1 FM Talk.
Always live on the free Odyssey app.
A traffic jam at sea. Lisa Brady, Fox News. Oil tankers lining up off the coast of Turkey, with the Financial Times reporting Turkey is demanding new proof of full insurance coverage after new Western restrictions on Russian oil, including a price cap, kicked in.
All this is meant to make it harder for Russia to make money and so harder for it to wage war in Ukraine.
Ukraine thinks the price cap is still too high, while Russia, the world's number 2 oil producer, says it'll only deal with countries that pay full price.
Fox's Jonathan Savage, the potential global impacts rattling the markets, U.S. crude sliding down to nearly $77 a barrel. A power outage under federal investigation after someone shot 2 substations in Moore County, North Carolina. National Security Council spokesman John Kirby.
We're going to continue to watch this investigation as it unfolds. We're supporting local law enforcement and local officials as appropriate.
He says the president is aware. The Moore County Sheriff says the attack was not random, but he also says there's no evidence to support social media suggestions. It may have been intended to stop a drag show from happening. More than 30,000 customers remain without power southwest of Raleigh. Duke Energy says full restoration could take several days. A change for U.S. travelers delayed again as Homeland Security pushes back the deadline for having a real ID from May of next year to 2025.
The update will require those 18 years and older to have a compliant driver's license or federally approved identity card in order to fly domestically. The deadline, which was originally set for 2020, was delayed twice before because of the COVID-19 pandemic. DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas saying in part, this extension will give states needed time to ensure their residents can obtain a real ID compliant license or identification card. DHS will also use this time to implement innovations to make the process more efficient and accessible.
Fox's Christian Goodwin. America is listening to Fox News.
When cold symptoms keep you up, try Vicks NyQuil Severe for max strength nighttime relief. Just 1 dose of Vicks NyQuil Severe starts to relieve 9 of your worst cold and flu symptoms to help take you from 9 to none. Get some rest and feel better with Vicks NyQuil Severe. The nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, sore throat, stuffy nose, fever, best sleep with a cold. Medicine. Use as directed.
Dell Technologies' Days of Deals for Business start now with fresh, limited quantity deals on tech to drive productivity. Save on select performance laptops and desktops powered by 12th Gen Intel Core processors. Don't forget special pricing on the latest monitors, docks, and accessories, plus free shipping on everything, and special financing with Dell Business Credit. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling weather.
Kind of a poorly organized weather pattern over the middle of the country the next several days. A mix of clouds and sunshine this afternoon. Just a couple of sprinkles here and there. 52. Tonight, a couple of showers scattered about. Otherwise, cloudy skies. 38. Tuesday, mostly cloudy. Again, a chance of a couple of showers. Chilly Tuesday, 48. Best chance of rain this week will be Thursday and Thursday night. This is 97.1 FM Talk Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Stop everything you're doing right now and ask yourself, are you currently receiving steady paychecks? What about when you're retired? Will you receive a monthly check to cover your expenses and also have some fun? Marvin Mitchell and the team at Compass Retirement Solutions calls this mailbox money. It's a monthly check you'll receive throughout retirement. They don't want you to worry about if the money will show up or how much money you'll receive. The only thing they want you to think about is how to spend it when it arrives. Find out how to get enough money in your mailbox every month when you're retired. Call Marvin Mitchell and the Compass Retirement Solutions team at 314-373-1598 to start working on a plan that can help you create the monthly income you'll need in retirement. Call 314-373-1598 right now and schedule a visit with Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services, investments, and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois.
97.1 FM Talk is embracing the spirit of giving to support SSM Health Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital. Please join us and donate to the Tree of Hope. Funds raised help the hospital offer programs not covered by insurance, but so necessary to a child's recovery. Most importantly, all children at Cardinal Glennon receive the best care regardless of their family's ability to pay. Thank you for supporting Cardinal Glennon. Please make your donations to the Tree of Hope today at 971talk.com/Cardinal Glennon or text the word HOPE to 20357.
Becco's new dishwashers use 1/3 the energy and half the water of U.S. standards for dishwashers. And from now until December 31st, you can save up to $200 in gift card rebates on eligible models. Visit Becco.com for more details. That's Becco.com.
This holiday season, give the gift of life. Donate blood at the Odyssey Holiday Heroes Blood Drive Tuesday the 20th through Friday the 23rd at YMCA locations all over the region. Make an appointment at redcross.org.
Big ideas, real debate, solid entertainment. You found it here.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
97.1 FM Talk.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Having all sorts of issues today. First of all, my eye's watering. You guys know what it feels like when you
watering a lot.
You know what it feels like, Ryan, when you get your mascara in your eye?
Not so much.
Yeah.
Well, no, Friday.
You know what it feels like when you get my mascara in your eye?
No. But
Come here.
I believe that you have thrown it at me enough that I probably had it in the eye.
I never throw my mascara. I love my
You've
mascara.
thrown many things at me, though.
I wouldn't throw my mascara, though.
Is it too expensive for me?
Yeah. When I get done wiping my eye here, ouch, I think it just made it worse.
I bet I'd look really attractive with some eyeliner.
Attractive to you?
Just in general. Guy liner.
We can make that happen.
I was going to say, that can be arranged.
We've been talking about that a lot.
Yeah, this is, I think, consecutive days that you've talked about how much you want to wear makeup.
I did not bring it up. You brought this up. You brought up your mascara on me, and so I agreed that I would look good in it. You're wearing a huge coat right now. You look like Ewok Frey, not Annie Frey.
Just think about what Ryan just said. He said, I agreed that I would look great in it.
Thinking about it?
I don't
thinking about it.
I don't think you mentioned how he would look in it.
No, because I've been told that if you don't have anything nice to say.
What is happening with your eye, though?
I have mascara in it.
Oh, okay.
Which should come as a shock to you.
Well, what shocks me is that it seems as if, just like baby shampoo, it wouldn't hurt your eyes because it gets in your eyes.
Well,
like
when we finally do your makeup so you can look amazing, you will find out. And then when you start crying, it goes everywhere.
So does it hurt more when you cry or less when you cry?
Depends on if it gets in your eye.
See, it seems like something they would
It's
make.
supposed to be on your eye, not in your eye.
But it gets real close to your eye, so it seems like they would make it tear-proof.
I'll put my eyeliner on you right now.
That sounds like a threat.
Brad, hold him down.
Oh, man, that would be fun.
You want to talk about how good you look with eyeliner? I'll put eyeliner on you.
Mm-hmm.
Fine.
Oh. Will you let me?
One eye.
So we can have a comparison?
Now we're a patch over the other one.
Will you let me?
If it's on air, if you can somehow do a show while doing it.
Can we do it on the break? So
Yes.
Steve doesn't get mad?
Yes. Yes, you can do it on break.
This is going to be fantastic.
Left eye. I want to be Lisa Left Eye Wiggins.
You should be right eye.
Left eye Wiggins.
That's what I want.
Ryan.
And then I want
Wiggins.
the beat, the intro song for the next segment to be Waterfalls, and then the one coming out to be the other song that's popular by them that I can't remember right now.
No Scrubs?
No Scrubs. That's the one. Those are my conditions.
Are you going to let me put makeup on you?
Yes, one eye, left eye. Lopez.
All right. I dedicate this next commercial break on YouTube to Ryan's.
Okay.
I really think you should be right eye.
Right
eye Ryan? Nah.
It makes too much sense. That's the problem. Anyway, that's besides the point. It's cold in the studio.
Freezing.
It seems like if there is a drastic change outside, that inside the studio, they always want to make sure that, I don't know, there's a lot of equipment in here. There's something about studios being particularly, they're temperatured to be cooler so that the heat of the equipment doesn't make the room so warm that the equipment fails. What if the talent fails?
Yeah.
Well, I won't right now because I'm wearing a big fuzzy jacket.
I would argue that you've been bringing the heat all day. That's a compliment. How about that? What are you going to do with it?
Sit here awkwardly uncomfortable, just like I usually do when we talk.
She's going to do that left eye makeup really well.
Yeah.
Don't get it in my eye.
Do you want a cat eye?
No, I want normal. I want it to make
Yes, he does.
Make me look as attractive as I could.
Well, that's a cat
That's
eye.
a wing.
That's a cat eye?
Yeah, you're going to
Not
need a
on
cat
a
eye.
man.
All
There's
right.
a way that guys
What
do it.
eyeliner on a man looks good to you, Ryan? What's
I don't know.
attractive?
I don't know. That's you guys' job. That's not my job.
I'm going to break it to you. This isn't about making you more attractive.
I want it to be where on my left,
Brian, you are as attractive as you're going to get.
like if the camera was
I
here
mean that for all of us.
and I was singing to the side, on one side I'd look beautiful, and the other side I'd turn and be like, oh my gosh, it's a guy again. That's what I want. You know what I mean?
You think guys
My
can't
profile?
look, you don't think guys can be beautiful?
You're putting words in my mouth. I think
That's
that
what you just said.
I can
you said
look
on
beautiful
one side
with
it would
your
look
makeup.
beautiful, and on that side it'd be like, oh, he's a guy again.
Yeah. What I'm saying
The
is
comparison was beauty and dudes.
Yeah, I would agree with that statement.
Thank you.
Guys
Because
do
there's
not look beautiful.
thank you.
That is not true.
I don't agree with that.
Hannah, name a beautiful man.
There's a lot.
Some European Mediterranean soccer player,
Tom
right?
Brady.
No, that's not where I was going.
I was going to say Matthew McConaughey. I think he's
He's
beautiful.
beautiful. Yeah.
Still?
Tom Cruise is beautiful.
Beautiful. You don't want to, as a woman, it's like you want to be able to see beautiful men, but you don't want to like have that standard of relativity.
Standing next to you?
Yeah. You want somebody like.
You want somebody like what?
It's all right. Say it. You're thinking it. Everybody knows what you think. Say it.
I can't hear you through this hood.
Say it.
You want somebody like what? An unmade up Ryan? Is that what you were going to say?
I still love how you're using unmade up as the lesser version of Ryan.
I'm giving you full permission not just to do eyeliner on my left eye, but the whole left side of my face at this point.
Half of your face is covered in a beard.
That's make a job easier
Shave
for
it.
you. No.
You're just the half, though.
Yeah, just that half.
So we can see your baby skin, your smooth
my baby skin. I still got my baby skin under
Do
the
you
beard.
have soft skin?
I don't know. I don't caress
He's like,
myself.
I draw the line. This is getting weird.
I don't know.
Why would you ask me that question? How soft is my
do you
skin?
have
I'm a
soft skin?
man.
Compared to what?
I'm 40.
Man.
Compared to a porcupine, yes. Compared to a mole, no.
When you were watching the Twitter files be released, did you watch it in real time?
Yes.
Did you, Brad?
Yes.
Hannah?
Nope.
That's good. Be honest. Remember when life was fun when you were 21 years old?
Yes, I do.
We're like, we need another tweet. Give me another tweet. I need a hit. Give it to me right now.
Yeah.
And Hannah was out
That's
being
the stuff.
21 and having a great time. We'll just assume that.
Yep.
So we're sitting here waiting for these files to be, or these tweets to be released. I do question why they released them that way, but at the same time, it is genius for Elon Musk to be like, keep them here as long as you can.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I don't know why. User experience, I mean, they're going to get away with that at least one time. And if they continue to deliver the goods of salacious enough information and actual exposing through transparency the idea that there's really stuff to see behind the curtain, then they're going to continue to be able to do this. Like they've got the info. We are at their their like desires of how they want to keep us there, how they want to release it. Because they could just write an article. They could have pre-written a tweet thread, which I started to do today. Folks, tomorrow we're gonna be talking about Illinois HB 5855. Brad, have you read that yet?
I have not yet. 5855.
Oh, just go to I've already maxed out one Twitter thread. They're coming for your guns, folks, in Illinois.
Oh, I have seen something about that.
And it's blah, blah, blah. Is it going to pass? Yes, it's going to pass. They expanded their supermajority, so brace yourself. We're going to talk about that. So I went through and I put together a Twitter thread. First, because people were like, you can publish a Twitter thread all at one time, right? And you can. I did that. I went through and I just kept pulling pieces out of HB 5855 and putting them there so you could have the verbiage as it is written in this bill in Illinois, and you can get up to 25 tweets in a thread. So you can put and I think the final Twitter thread was like 45 tweets or something like that. Did you say that's right?
I didn't see the total number. So yes, it's right. Yeah, I fell asleep. Right there on the couch at about 7:30.
So people were saying, like, release the whole Twitter thread. Why are you doing this way? Every time more than 3 minutes would pass between one tweet and the other, people were like, I think he's dead. I think they got him. Like 3 minutes of time. And it struck me because we grew up waiting. We were professionally able to wait for anything. You didn't actually even know that there were instances where people didn't have to wait. And then the internet happened, and now everything is instantaneous, limitlessly instantaneous. And people were waiting 2 and 3 minutes, 5 minutes sometimes for the next tweet to come, and people were losing their minds. And it was funny to me, it was so funny to me and so consistent that people were freaking out that made me feel the encouragement that, like, all right, people, everybody relax. I should relax too, even though it was frustrating that we weren't getting all the information as it was coming out. Is there anything in your life that you willingly just sit and wait for anymore? Like, if you have a choice, is there anything worth waiting for anymore?
I actually like the rollout of certain TV shows week by week. I enjoy that more. Makes me think about it more, especially if there's mystery or some sort of intrigue involved. I prefer that.
Counter to that, my husband and I watch Yellowstone, have watched it the whole time, have not watched a single episode of this season because I don't want to have to wait in between episodes. My husband and I don't get a ton of time to sit down and watch stuff like that. But if we get an evening where maybe the kids are in bed by 9, we can go watch Yellowstone upstairs in our bedroom and crank out 3 or 4 different episodes. So we're waiting to like pile some up. We have that with Blue Bloods. We have that with Outlander. I don't want to be in a position where I have to wait each week for something to come out. And then even worse, watch commercials in it. Like that's how we grew up. That was what we knew. Now everything is so on demand that we don't have to do that anymore.
How do you watch Yellowstone? I've heard of the show, but where is that?
It's on Paramount.
You watch it with both eyes open and hanging onto your hat, lady. Because it's going to move.
Yeah. It's on Paramount, I think. I don't know. I have it on YouTube TV, so it's part of my subscription there, and I just record all of them. But anyways, is there anything, Brad, that you think of that you like wait for?
I kind of do what you do with TV shows. Like if I know that they're going to drop it out, week by week, this is way more complicated than it needs to be. I have a 3-episode rule. I will watch 3 episodes of your series to see if I want to continue watching. And if you don't have me by the 3rd episode, I'm done with it.
Yeah, sometimes you need to watch more than one to let it develop.
And so what I end up doing is I wait for those 3 episodes, because if they're 30-minute episodes, that's an hour and 30 minutes, like watching a movie. I'll wait for 3 episodes. So I'll wait for a show that releases. I'll wait 3 weeks before I watch it, and then I'll watch 3 episodes, boom, boom, boom. And then I decide, do I want to stick around and watch this or do I not? So in a way, that's what I wait for.
I think about baseball. Sit around and wait for spring. And like that's the one thing that I just sit there. I mean, I don't have a choice. It's not like you can make it happen any faster. But food, I mean, think about how long you're willing to sit, and if you're like in a fast food lane or if you are at a restaurant, like how quickly do you start to go, come on? I mean, internally that happens before you ever, I think for most people, before you ever start speaking outwardly about it. You're kind of like, come on, let's go. And really, if you compare that to the first half of our lives, this is what we did all the time.
Yeah.
It's just what you did. There was no choice.
Yeah, you said willingly, and I was like, I don't know, man. If you don't have to willingly wait for something, I don't know that you would. Why would you if you don't have to wait for it?
I'll tell you what, I've gotten to the point where I enjoy planning a vacation as much as I do the vacation. So that's...
I agree with that because it's like I'm going to get to take a vacation.
Yeah, the waiting for a vacation, to me, has gotten to be very, very enjoyable. Much more than I ever thought it would be.
Talking about getting information so quickly, with TV shows and stuff like that, I kind of find it hard to wait because I feel like social media spoils it, and I can't wait to watch because I'm going to figure it out through another platform.
Yeah. Twitter was not very patient on Friday night.
No, and I was going to say, to your point, though, I think that was a genius way for them to roll that out. It was such good PR, not only for Twitter, which is Musk's prerogative, but for the story itself to get more traction. The only question I have is why they did it on a Friday night. Usually Friday night news dump means you're trying to cover it up, but that's clearly not what he was trying to do.
A Friday night news dump is what the people in power do to cover it up.
Mm-hmm.
And because the news media, it's all based on the news media schedule. This is against the news media. And honestly, if you don't have the big Sunday shows, I know everyone talks about the big Sunday shows. Do you watch Sunday morning news?
No.
Do you watch?
No.
Does anybody our age watch Sunday morning news?
Not much.
That is an aging phenomenon. And it doesn't mean it's not valuable. We pull things from Sunday morning news, but it's all based on sound bites. And I don't think that anything that Elon Musk is doing here is in such a contrived, calculated way. I think that he probably was like, when do we have it? I'm sure that was run by a lot of legal. Can I do this? Can I say that? Can I release this? Hope.
Yeah.
I hope it was. I agree. I think that was the smart way to do it. And honestly, I wonder how many more people were paying attention on Friday evening right after work got done because they had the ability to, because they had a little bit of a sweet spot of time.
Well, they have the ability to do it. And generally, like, what it is about the Friday night news dumps is that you're out doing other things, and so you can't watch what's going on. I was at a high school basketball game, and because it was popping every 3 minutes or so, I just set my alerts on, and it'd pop, and I'd look down. I'm like, okay, this is where we're at. And then I'd put my phone back, go back to watching the basketball game, and it came back up again. It allowed people, it built anticipation. So that might have been Matt Tabby
Cat.
Yeah. Anyway. TAIBBI, I think.
I've said it like a dozen times, but when you said it wrong,
I screwed everybody up.
It was
now
over.
I'm like,
it was over.
Crap, because I heard it today. I watched multiple things of coverage to hear it be said multiple times because when I was reading it, I didn't know how to say it.
Yeah.
Dang it, Brad.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
To Bobby's.
If I am going to, on the break, do two things. I'm going to go into the Odyssey app and rewind when I was talking about this earlier to hear how I said it, and I'm going to put eyeliner on Ryan Wiggins.
When you push your face forward in that hood a little bit, it looks like you're wearing a bonnet. And if you put a pacifier in your mouth...
Oh, guess what?
You got a pacifier in your coat?
I have one in my pocket.
Do it right now.
What?
Put Molly's pacifier in your mouth right now.
No.
Don't do it.
Pacifier. Pacifier.
No. It's got
The
buzz
people
on
are
it.
chanting. Passive fire. It's me.
The person.
The people. I am the people. I am people. I was walking back from the bathroom because I had to pee so bad in that last segment, and I was running back, and I reached into my pocket, and I was like, "Oh, what do you know? Pacifiers? Do you know how much? Do you remember how gold a pacifier is? Did you do pacifiers in your house?
Mm-hmm. Who doesn't do pacifiers with babies?
Tons of people.
know a few.
Really? Tons of people.
Is that a trend?
My mom
you know
didn't
why?
want to.
No.
You know what the problem is?
No.
Nipple confusion. We'll be right back.
Oh,
Don't
come
go away.
on.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
Heaven knows I was just a young boy, didn't know what I wanted to be.
Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie. Shows that make a difference. Mark Cox, Brian Kilmeade, Annie Frey, Mark Reardon and Dana Lash, Heidi Harris, Wiggins America. where St. Louis comes to talk. 97.1 FM Talk.
All right. Air Comfort Service online at aircomfortservice.com. 314-513-0091. Corey Malone's going to be mad at you, Ryan Wiggins. Knock it off. I got to do business first, and then we'll get to the makeup on Ryan Wiggins. I know. It's happening next. I'm wondering if your air conditioning and furnace situation in your home is doing okay. I have had to replace both of them in the last few years, and Air Comfort Service was the destination for my family because the people who came to our house, I love Air Comfort Service techs. They know exactly what they're doing. They're incredibly respectful, and you can tell that as they know what they're doing, the way they communicate it to you really empowers you to make a decision that's best for you and best for your house. Air Comfort Service is also now helping with insulation. Corey and the team at Air Comfort Service are proud to be able to offer you this service. 9 out of 10 homes are under insulated. I bet yours could be as well. How much of the energy that you're using to heat your home is leaking out of your poorly insulated home? 314-513-0091. Give them a call at 314-513-0091 and ask them about their insulation services. You can find them online at aircomfortservice.com.
When you need to know what's happening, it's time to get in the huddle.
Whatever happened to teams saying, we're not going to pay you? Whatever happened to, hey, I know you're in your third year of your fifth year, contract, your 5-year contract. We're not paying you. Come back, play great. I don't give a damn if you unfollow us on Instagram.
Listen to In the Huddle, available on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcast.
Hello, this is Chad Clayman at ClaymanGroup.com, KLAMEN Group.com, where we buy houses direct. If you're thinking about selling, but you're not sure where you're going to go after you sign a contract with a buyer, if you sell to us, we can provide a flexible closing date for you. And once we've written a contract, we can actually adjust the closing date if you need to move it up or you need to move it back at any time. Find us at ClaymanGroup.com and simplify your sale by closing on your timeline, KLAMEN Group.com.
You had a solid retirement dream, sell your home in a few years, bank the equity, downsize, and travel, but inflation and recession has you wondering if all your hard-earned equity will still be there. What if you could recession-proof your equity right now? You can with Truehold. Truehold will buy your home for its best current value before a recession can erode it. You get to bank all the cash now and live in your home for as long as you want, and Truehold covers all property taxes, insurance, repairs, and maintenance. And since Truehold pays your home's current value in cash now, it's yours to do whatever you like. Don't wait for inflation, recession, and interest rates to erode your home's value. Visit Truehold.com and discover how much Truehold will buy your home for today based on its best current value, not what's coming. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without having to move. That's Truehold.com.
For details and a list of all station contest rules, visit www.971talk.com/rules. You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
Ryan, you have the weirdest demands. Why did you want to play this song?
You know what I said. I said waterfalls, and I didn't get it.
I'm not the producer.
Hey, producer, I said waterfalls, and I said no scrubs.
This is what was in, and I thought it was pretty fitting, so I left it.
I love that your left eye is the prominent eye on the camera.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
You look like you've been injured.
If I had done the right eye, nobody would even be able to see it.
You look like you've been harmed.
Yeah, well, that's your fault.
Well, you were laughing and flinching.
Been laughing.
What
and
just
giggling.
happened?
Do you want me to explain what you did? Because what I did was I walked over.
Look at you.
I walked over to you, and you put eyeliner on just my left eye, and now it's there.
And why is that?
It does look like you got hit.
Well, she did the cat eye a little bit, right? That's
Do you
what
want me
this
to
is.
turn that into a black eye?
No.
No, I mean, not like for real.
What makes me look cooler? Probably a black eye.
I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
It's not this.
I don't know that a black eye makes you look cool because that means you lost the fight.
No, it doesn't.
Well, it means you took one.
You were in a fight.
Yeah.
It doesn't imply that's all about what kind of story you come up with.
Well, then if that's the case.
Do you want me to give Brad a black eye too? And you guys can just.
Look like we got in a fight?
Yeah.
Give me a black eye, but then give him 2 black eyes and then bloody up a whole side of his face. Because then it'll look like I won and he got one punch in.
I bet Brad's going to agree to all of that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Only if they play no scrubs, then he'll agree.
That's not at all how it works. What are you negotiating?
I don't know.
Oh, man. Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. We appreciate you being here. The YouTube live chat poll, will the Twitter files exposed under Elon Musk have a positive impact on free speech? Yes or no, nothing will happen. Ryan, you said yes. Brad, you said yes.
Yeah.
Hannah, you said
Yes.
you hope yes. I think it will. I agree with that.
The crazy thing is that it's indicative of so many other things. You know, it's just Twitter. We're just talking about Twitter here. But this has implications for Facebook. It has implications for all the other socials. It has implications for Google, Yahoo, searches. I mean, all this stuff, it's not just Twitter, although what we're going to find out about is Twitter. It implies so much more is happening online that we all know is happening, but this is the first time we've seen the receipts.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a big deal. Go give us your vote in the YouTube live chat poll, yes or no, nothing will happen. Leave us a comment. Did you guys have a good weekend? Did you guys have busy weekends or get a lot done?
Busy.
What'd you do?
We had we had volleyball on Saturday in Columbia, Illinois, and then we had a rehearsal for some Christmas songs that our kids are singing on Sunday and Sunday evening.
What about you, Brad?
Well, we went out to dinner with some friends. Hadn't done that in a while, which is really nice. And
Did you get all made up?
No.
Not like that.
No. Nope. Not like that at all.
Did you get a black eye?
No.
Ryan, what's the most primping you do to go anywhere? Like if you're going somewhere nice.
I think it's choice of shirt.
I can't look at you.
That's it.
Shirt?
That's the most I do. I will shower.
Showers?
That's good.
Shave?
I shave. I will sometimes
Polish the old...
No. It's the noggin.
Polish the old 5 head.
Don't say it. Polish the dome. No, I don't polish my forehead, if that's the question that you're asking. I prefer it not shine. I don't know why you'd polish it. Can you give my forehead, just go through a car wash. Can you give it a good buff? Yeah, so we don't let people walk through the car wash. Hey, I think Mr. Jefferson would
What are you
beg to differ.
about?
I'm bribing. Offering bribes to walk through the car wash.
I gotta talk.
I can't believe this is going on air. To all of our listeners, I am sorry.
No, to all of our listeners, you know why this is why you're here.
Who's your favorite president? Because if it's Hamilton,
Why I am here. What?
Who's your favorite president?
As soon as
Is it
I
Hamilton or
formulate
is it
something to
Jackson?
respond to him, he's talking about something else that's crazy. He's wearing eyeliner.
Indeed, I am.
What did you say? He looks like a pharaoh? He's got
It goes with my personality as rich young ruler.
toots uncommon.
Toots and common.
Man, I just don't feel like I'm up for the job today.
Annie, what did you do this weekend?
Yeah, where are you going with that line of questioning? Were you just filling time? What'd you do this weekend?
What's everyone's favorite
Oh, we
color?
went to a volleyball game. Oh, super interesting. What'd you do, Brad? Oh, we went and had dinner with
Just
friends.
because your life's not interesting doesn't make it my fault.
Well, I just threw Brad under the bus, too.
Thanks, I don't care.
Honestly,
If I'm gonna
none
ask
of us
you
are
a question
interesting.
on Monday and have you in here, that you don't need to tell me well, then we did laundry and I did socks and I had 3 mismatched socks.
What do you want? What
What
kind
do
of
you
detail
do
you want?
when you have the mismatched socks? It's enraging. What do you want?
It's like there's a troll that goes around and eats one. It's so frustrating.
Eat them both.
Just
do me
have
a
both
favor.
of them. Why do you just eat that one? What'd you do, Hannah?
Went out to eat with my sisters. That's
Super cool.
about it. Yep.
Yeah, we got to work on your lives.
What does that mean?
We need more excitement. We need more
What is
content.
Oh, our lives.
Your lives.
Oh, okay. So you meant our live endorsements. What are you talking about? Our lives.
Well, that too.
We got to work on your lives.
No,
when I stand behind you, you get all flustered.
We need to create. Well, we need to create more content-rich experiences.
Ooh. Okay. Well, if you want content-rich experience, I will say this. When I was coming back from the airport from Florida, because I went on vacation over the Thanksgiving holiday, my son bought one of the Harry Potter brooms as his souvenir, whatever. And when he found it, he was so excited because we had seen one. It was like $75. He said, man, I can't. I said, I'm not going to pay $75 for a broom. He's like, I understand that, Dad.
We have
That's
standards.
fine. And then
I'm not going to pay $75 for anything.
We were in Universal Studios in Diagon Alley, and then he saw one that was only $35. And we were like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? It's like half price. Okay, we're going to get it. So in the excitement of getting it, I didn't realize, how in the heck am I going to get this huge plastic broomstick home? Because it is not going to fit in a suitcase.
You
and
should be able to carry it, right? Carry it on.
I didn't know. I didn't know what to do.
You flew.
But we were flying, and we were on Southwest. So I said, buddy, I think
Fly
the best
on the broomstick.
option. Oh, there you go.
That's what I do with mine.
Best option is to check this because you get 2 free check bags. But it was not protected. It was just kind of, plastic, little cellophane thing. So I'm like, buddy, we're going to try our best here. I probably should have just tried to get it on the plane and dealt with the consequences, but I thought that would be the best way. So that's what we did. Well, then we coming back, and there were some people from our soccer team that were there with us on this flight. One of the guys said, hey, we have to, so we didn't have any other checked bags other than just that thing.
You just checked a broom?
Yes.
So like the Wiggins family is standing there at baggage claim, just waiting for a broom to show up?
we had 2 other suitcases that were carry-ons.
What?
And the flight was already delayed by 2 hours. We're tired. It's 10:30 at night. He's got to go to school the next day. So we're standing there at baggage claim, and the thing starts cranking up. Okay, here it goes. All right, there's the broom.
Hey, got a broom here. Oh, that's mine.
I waited about 10 seconds and then went, well, this is going to take forever. I got to come up with a different plan. The guy sitting next to us who was on our soccer team, he offered when we were getting off the plane, he goes, hey, since you only have that one thing, we got to wait for our bags. If you want us to just get the broom, and we'll give it to you next time we see it, or I'll drop it off with you, I'll do that. And I thought, we'll wait for it.
So you just checked a broom?
We just checked the broom. So I said, we'll wait for it. But within 10 seconds, I was already like, nope, not going to wait for this. This is going to take too long. So I said to the guy, Mark, I said, Mark, I'm going to take you up on your offer if that's okay. He said, that's fine. That's fine. So we left. By the time we got home, they were still there waiting for even their own baggage.
Ugh.
At that point, he had his bags. He texted me, I got mine, but the broom hasn't showed up.
He was regretting that offer.
Yes. Now, what I said was just abandon it. I didn't do anything wrong socially here, right? I didn't step over any lines. Everything was cool because I feel really bad about making him wait,
How
even
long
if it was
did you
an
wait
extra,
past his bag?
maybe 5 minutes.
No.
Okay, good.
Did they offer first?
Well, he offered before I ever said anything about it. Yeah.
Yeah. If he offered and then you relinquished his duties because it didn't show up, then no.
Yeah. I mean, I'm already at home.
You're kind of a doof for checking a broom.
Right? I
And
agree.
you totally could have just carried it on.
Yes, I realize that in hindsight.
Like we've carried on lightsabers and like droid robots and stuff that you would spend too much money on to let baggage claim.
It wasn't going to fit in any bag we had.
So
though.
where is it?
So it never showed up. But he stuck around long enough, was super nice. He got the card for the, late baggage arrivals or whatever. So I called him the next day. They did have it. So I went and got it. And it was fine. I can't believe it, but it was fine.
So you went all the way to the airport to pick up the broom?
back to the airport.
A $35 broom.
Yes.
A $35 broom that you spent how much in gas to go collect?
Probably about $35-$40.
No. Maybe $6. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it was not. I felt bad because I thought maybe I had done something socially. And next time I see him, I definitely owe him a beer or something because that was really nice of him. But
You don't like her.
Yeah. I'm not going to show up like this. I know that.
You shouldn't show up anywhere. You shouldn't leave the studio like this.
You're right. How do you get makeup off? Do you have to
This
use
is
a
waterproof.
special cloth or some sort of makeup
Ooh, that's
removal?
waterproof. Ooh.
Oh.
Oil cleanser?
You don't get it off.
Use your oil
Does
cleanser,
it stay
Ryan
forever?
Wiggins.
Oh, no.
This is permanent.
I don't even use waterproof makeup because I can't get it off.
No. Do I have to go take a shower in the men's bathroom somehow? There's no shower there.
I sure hope you don't try that.
Yes, that's what you have to do. Make sure
Anna.
it's the men's.
Don't encourage him.
Well, I don't have to witness that.
I do.
You don't have to.
Well, I have to
You
use
don't
the bathroom at
you don't
some
have to
point.
supervise it. Just hold it. I would.
Ryan Wiggins from the Annie Frey Show has made a little bath near the men's urinal.
And the weirdest thing is, he's sitting in it, and there's no water in it
And
yet.
And the other weirdest thing is he only had to wash his face.
We'll be right back. Don't go away.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Hello, everybody. I'm John Rooney. Do you have an old car that's taking up room in the driveway? Repairs are costly and selling is a hassle. That's why you should donate it to Goodwill. Donating is quick and towing is free. Plus, you get a tax receipt and 4 tickets to a Cardinals game next year, compliments of the St. Louis Cardinals. That's a win-win. For more information or to donate, visit online at mersgoodwill.org. Must mention Cardinals.
The Diamond Shop is located in Clayton and has been serving people exactly like you, families like yours, in St. Louis since 1910. If you haven't visited the Diamond Shop yet, I want to talk to you about their Men's Panic Night. It's December 15th, and this is where men go to the Diamond Shop and they check out those wish lists that their spouses, their significant others have made. Hint, hint. Go make a wish list at thediamondshop.net, and they buy something that they know is going to make their loved one incredibly happy. If you're looking to make a wish list, just send that link over to somebody who might be looking to buy you something extra special this holiday season and shop the beautiful, beautiful pieces that are at the Diamond Shop. You are going to fall in love with the staff that works there, the family business that the Diamond Shop has been, and when you go there and you shop, even if you don't end up buying something, at least this time around, or if you're just starting the process of maybe making a purchase that might require a little bit of savings, you're going to love working with the people at the Diamond Shop. They care about you, they become your family, and you become part of theirs. You can learn all about what they have to offer at thediamondshop.net.
Attention. Per the current government mandate, U.S.-based insurers are now required to cover at-home COVID testing kits with no out-of-pocket fees to you. If you have a current insurance plan, you are eligible to receive up to 8 COVID-19 tests shipped to you each month absolutely free, as long as the government mandate is in effect. Just visit testkitforfree.com to register now from the comfort of your own home. That's testkitforfree.com to receive your tests shipped to you at no cost. Go to testkitforfree.com today. Paid for by T. Euro Health.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit beefy, or even with type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Affordable term life insurance is out there. Call Term Provider and speak with Big Lou at 800-481-1458. 800-481-1458 or visit biglou.com. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too.
Hi, this is Brian with Velocity Home Buyers, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 314-782-3333. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition and any price range in the St. Louis area. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that needs updating, but you don't have the time or money for it? Great, because I love buying outdated houses. I buy vacant houses, job relocation houses, and foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 314-782-3333. That's 314-782-3333.
Santa's thinking fine jewelry from Shane Company. Are you? Visit us for gorgeous gifts starting under $300. Order online and get free express shipping.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling and Insulation Studio. Make sure your furnace is ready to safely heat your home this fall. For heating service, repairs, or a new HVAC system, visit aircomfortservice.com.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Frank Cusimano from Channel 5.
I can't remember a time where any goaltender has been more hung out to dry than Jordan Binnington.
He was last night.
3-on-1s, and he's got no chance.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
I got a feeling that tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Speaking of having a good night, you guys look forward to your holiday family gatherings and get-togethers. This would be a weird time to say no, but do you?
Heck yes. It's fun.
It was always the best part of my childhood growing up, and we're kind of not really doing it anymore, so I'm sad.
Oh, why?
Oh, that's a
Because
downer.
we don't get to do it anymore.
Just because?
My grandparents had like 7 kids on my dad's side and 7 kids on my mom's side, and families had families, and now it's just too big to get that many people in one place.
Yeah. There's this Yahoo Finance, of course it's on Yahoo Finance, article by Alexa McHale from this weekend. It says Sarah isn't going home for the holidays.
Sorry, Sarah.
She plans to read, spend time with her dog, and even get a few yoga sessions in.
That's lame.
That's sad.
No, that's not the sad part. The 30-year-old, who is using her first name to protect her family's privacy, lives in Seattle, just 30 to 45 minutes away from her relatives. Despite the short trek, she enjoyed her own company during Thanksgiving.
Her family is mad at her for saying this?
Oh, I don't know.
She's
maybe
protecting
publicly.
herself.
Doggone it, Sarah. Why are you airing out the family business?
Quote, I have more peace being by myself when I need to be, says Sarah, who made a roast and watched a movie alongside her dog. It's become obvious to her over the past few years that she doesn't share the same values with a lot of her extended family, describing certain moments at past gatherings as, quote, emotionally triggering and, quote, sad. It's not funny. It's serious.
Just make a roast and get over it.
With your dog.
With your dog. Watch a movie.
A lot of the tension stemmed from politics during the COVID-19 pandemic and election and election cycles. As much as she wants to focus on the warm times, pushing herself to go home for the holidays doesn't feel worth it anymore. Quote, I just always felt like I was doing it to check a box rather than relive the childhood memories of what we thought the holidays were.
Oh.
It's so different when you're an adult.
Gosh, Sarah.
Is that the saddest story you've ever heard?
No, but it's up there.
Tell us the saddest story you've ever heard.
Well, it's a lot of death.
See, my son wanted this $75 broom.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was sad.
Sarah,
Happy ending, though.
Sarah hasn't been with the maternal side of her family for the holidays in years. At first, she felt sad about it and feared she would feel lonely. But by not forcing herself into an emotionally draining situation, she feels more in control. Quote, the biggest lesson learned from the pandemic is you don't need to settle. And if people aren't giving you the energy that you deserve, and even if they're family, you don't need to participate.
Whoa.
Ooh, key phrase. If people aren't giving you the energy you deserve.
There it is. That's what I was
There it
looking for.
is.
It's like, when do we get to the point where this person talks about how important it is to them? It's that inward-looking thing that we've been talking about forever. So focused on ourselves.
Sarah.
Sarah with an H or an A? Because I'm going to track her down.
What do you think?
That's definitely an A.
That's an A, Sarah.
I'm not telling you. Going home for the holidays is not feasible for everyone, whether because of financial hardship, to protect emotional well-being, or ongoing mental health struggles. Quote, we as a society need to recognize that some people are not feeling joy, says Dr. Frank Genasi, the CEO of Rutgers University Behavioral Healthcare, who adds that holiday marketing doesn't help people already struggling. Quote, it highlights the chasm between what the world is expecting and what some people can give. How much is Sarah looking to give?
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Frank, for highlighting that it's all of society's fault and we should change all of the advertisements to make Sarah feel better.
Sarah's story here about the holidays, and as written by Yahoo Finance, is that Sarah is the real winner because she now spends holidays home with her own roast, watching movies with her dog. That is, I mean, all joking aside, this is a win for Sarah. This is supposed to be empowering, an empowering story about what Sarah did. She shunned her entire family, who has a different viewpoint than she does. And she says they live 30 to 45 minutes from Seattle. I'm assuming that she's liberal and they're not, but who knows? It could be the other way around. Why is it that politics have to be at the epicenter of a family gathering on both sides? I mean, I'm around, my family and friends have varying opinions. I don't really have the ability to just be like casual about politics, not talk about it, or have people wonder what I think about things. But I have friends who have pushed me away because I don't believe what they believe. They are not my friends anymore, but that's because they chose to be. I didn't leave them. If they wanted to, if they felt like, man, that's kind of sucks, I'd like to hang out with Annie again, I would be ready and willing to do that. I'm not going to compromise who I am to hang out with them, but I don't need my politics to be at the baseline of my relationship with everyone else. But clearly other people do. And I have other family members, people who are very opposed, who are very nasty to me, like publicly away from me, never to my face. And it's very sad for them. I'm not hurt by it, but I know that it happens. I have people who are mutual connections who report that back to me. And it's just like, I'm not here to convince them of anything. Like where I stand on any particular issue politically is of absolute no substance in my relationship with them. It doesn't determine the interest that I have in seeing them, the lack of interest I have in seeing them. They can believe completely differently than me. And I have people in my family who are on both sides of me politically who are like that. And who have made that like an epicenter of the issue. Like it is the God that they serve to win political battles. And you think about all the things that are being sacrificed for it. It is so sad. Going into the holiday season, please, 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 if you see this happening to you, don't be the person who ends that relationship. If somebody else on the other side disagrees with you politically and that seems to be the prevailing thing of your relationship, give it a shot to have a relationship with the important people in your life where that is not at the epicenter. If they can't let it go, then that's on them. But care about the person more than the politics. I think that's a start for fixing all of it.
You know what I would love, since we're pointing the finger at all of society here?
Sure.
Is if I need this message so often. I need this message at least daily. Hey, Ryan, it's not about you. I need to hear that often because I wake up every day forgetting that message and thinking, what is today going to be like for me? What is going to be the best thing for me to, have a good day or whatever it is. It's about me instead of me looking at other people as the priority. That is a social problem. This article highlights that social problem, that message is never conveyed in modern America, that it is not about you.
Everything in our culture today is so self-centered, and it's gotten to the point where you should worship yourself so much that if you're surrounded by nobody else, congratulations, you've officially won. And if that's the game you're playing, that's the prize you will win. It's really, really sad. All right, want to do the YouTube poll?
Yep. So today's YouTube poll is asking, will the Twitter files exposed under Elon Musk have a positive impact on free speech? Yes or no, nothing will happen, with over 230 votes. 52% of the people say no, nothing will happen with the Twitter files. And 48% say that it will have a positive
Pretty even
impact.
Split.
Yeah, it is. It's been moving around all day. We have some comments here.
I think, too, that if I would have added a third option that was like, I need to see more or I need to know more, it would have been like 95% that.
Yeah.
Yes. Mike Forrest from YouTube said, I voted no. Sadly, I feel most Americans are disengaged and don't care. Benjamin Bravo said, I also voted no. This will change absolutely nothing. Lori said, I voted yes. I am very much hoping it will happen. Doug from YouTube said, I am jaded to the point that the Twitter files only matter to those who are on one side of the aisle. Those who didn't know about it will care because of how polarized things are.
That is disappointing. This should be something that everybody goes, whoa, this is not good.
We don't like this.
Carlo from YouTube said, I voted yes because exposing the silencers has to have a positive result. Mike Hatzel from YouTube said, can we add a as the third option for the poll? And I know if we did that, a lot of people would vote. Ikta from YouTube said it isn't going to do anything. Musk is just grifting. While he let out notable right-wing figures, the common folk still remain censored for the crime of being a conservative. Linda from YouTube said, I think Twitter already has had an effect since some news sources have been forced to admit that the Hunter Biden laptop thing was real instead of deny, deny, deny. Barry from YouTube said, I voted yes in the poll with much hope that it will. There's a lot of adversity to overcome.
You know, one of the words, the F words that's thrown around when we talk about things like this all the time is fascist. And one of the tenets of fascism is silencing dissent.
Mm-hmm.
And when you start seeing that there are government connections, bipartisan, but ones that are more effectively made from the Democratic Party into the platforms that are publishing these tweets, and you see that there is an understood relationship between persons where speech can be silenced, and you notice that it is heavily leaning in the direction of one message that's being silenced. I know we throw the fascist word around a lot, but it's important that we understand what it actually means. And if you hear somebody constantly calling right-wingers fascists, make sure you understand exactly what that means, because you got to have like all the power, and then you have to be egregious enough with your power to say, nope, nobody else gets to say anything different. You cannot challenge that power structure. And that's really why the First Amendment is so important, because it allows us to challenge things even when we are wrong in what we're challenging. I hope we get more. I think we're going to get more. They're teasing more. And if they have more, we will absolutely cover it here on the Annie Frey Show. The Mark Reardon Show coming up next.
This season, give the gift of Cardinals ticket packs. 5, 6, and 10 game packs are on sale now and feature 2023's highest demand games and promotional giveaways.